Yo, what up, friends? Happy Saturday.
Welcome. It's me and Rhea's show where we meet people in the community. Now we kind of know at least one of these guests. I kind of know the other one. I haven't really got to actually Enosh before we started. He's like, I'm kind of getting to know you, Max. If you can explain that.
Right. Well, because something that a lot of people don't know is that I first of all I have a very loud dog in the background apparently. No, anyways, the thing is I didn't set out to be some YouTuber, right? And so we had a YouTube channel with the family and stuff, and we did all those fun things, but I didn't really live stream at all. And the only time that we did live stream, I would just set up my phone, and there was no broadcast, there was no nothing, to it. And so I'll never forget, because when the pandemic hit and everybody was using Zoom, and I'll never forget because I saw one night the little thing that said Zoom to YouTube. And I figured it out, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this works!" Like I did this little test out of nowhere, and it worked. And I was like, "I could do a call-in show. How cool would that be?" Not even thinking at the time of the ramifications of things that could possibly happen during a live show, but it didn't. It was fun, and people responded, and and it was really cool. And then you and I got connected because I just made a video voicing my opinion about certain people, and who I seem to disagree with, but you reached out to me, Max, and you were like, "Hey, my name's Max. We got this community of people, blah blah blah," and you just literally welcomed me in. And it's so funny because I know that the video is still on your channel. If you go back to I think it was maybe
Well,
April of 2020.
You're in the one of my intros where you're really fresh to on the stream, and it was just a chaotic stream. And you're looking at
the stream,
yeah.
the stream that was a little bit later, yeah. Once we got to know each other, but man, that first stream, I didn't even know I was on. I didn't even know I was on live. I literally thought because you sent me a link, right? And I had never done that. And you sent me a link, and then we just all started talking. But you guys all saw the toys.
Yeah.
And then you guys started all talking about toys, and I took you on a thing of the whole house, and I didn't realize that.
You took over. You took over my stream, Shayna. He's done that before. I can't even regain. I can't even talk about topics anymore.
I have witnessed it happening on several occasions already.
Yes.
Yeah, but that was my first time part of streaming, Max, part of the community or whatever, and you introduced me to everybody, and then we all became friends, and and then then it was just it was funny because we weren't a network, but back then it was really crazy because people would start streaming early in the evening, and it would literally just go till 5-6 in the morning. It was crazy. But yeah, you introduced me to all that, Max. So thank you. Thank you.
This is your fault.
This is all your fault.
Good. Lots of things are my fault. Yes. So we're very happy. Me and Ray are very happy to have Enosh and Shayna, especially to get Shayna. I've seen pictures of you on Instagram. You both look like you're a great couple. Very happy that you brought a lot of joy back to my pal Enosh. Very happy to meet you in person and hang out. So you also had a question. We're going to talk about childhood and where you got in the nerd culture stuff, what your plans are, things like that. We're actually going to do a full interview.
Awesome.
But you were asking a question to me before, I sound different now. And you said I sound different without the mask on, and I could literally tell you why. Because it was really hard to pick up my voice unless I was yelling through the mask. That's the only. When I first started live streaming, people couldn't hear me, so I had to actually yell through the mask. It was very exhausting. So that actually became part of. So people, It's not like I was more angry, but I was a little more hyper back then. But it was literally because you couldn't even hear me well unless I'm yelling through the mask.
Well, that sounds about right. That became part of the personality, right? It was everything was. I just remember, Max, you were just very high strung about everything. You were you were very much passionate about a lot of things, and that's what I love. One of the things that I loved about you, man, and that's the thing. We've actually been through a lot together.
Yes, yeah, we have.
Just in the short time that we've known each other, and yeah, man, it's funny because I think I've learned enough lessons over the last 4 years or so streaming, I've learned some life lessons about what it means to like what's important and what's not. And it's so funny because there've been people who try to like give me a hard time in real life, and I just kind of chuckle because I think to myself, boy, you have no idea what I've been up against, like being a YouTuber that has like 9,000 subscribers and having some YouTuber that has like 350,000 subscribers demanding to be on your channel one night, like if you don't let him on and this is the only chance you get and and everything, and it's like, okay, and then obviously, the people that we went up against together, and some of those, I mean, to be able to look back at a message that says, me and so are going live in 5 minutes and we're gonna destroy you and Ray Fisher, right? And it's just like, that happened. That's kind of funny, and so it's like when you have the person in real life giving you a hard time about something and you're like, that's nothing, like, like this is it's just life lessons, and funny things that you can look back on, and go, wow.
I actually have like a good story from when I first got to know you as well. And Enosh was streaming on his channel, and he invited me on, and it was right when I started my own channel. I was still under 100 subs, so I was still very early on in getting my feet settled in, or getting my feet on the ground of what I wanted to do. And yeah, he stayed on live until I hit 100 subs. So
that was great.
So yeah, like you and Max have, always been super supportive and kind, and very welcoming to me on your guys' shows and the community. So I was just, some random audience person who would type essays in the chat, and then eventually Max invited me on, like, oh yeah, Rhea, you have a lot to say. Come on down. So yeah, same with you, Enosh. Yeah, you've always been very open door policy to a lot of folks with different opinions and backgrounds.
I know I've gotten to know a lot of friends from you too with your call and show. Like I don't think I would know Dial or some other people. They just started pop up and like, who's this person? William. I wouldn't have known William. Right. I know Rhea is a huge fan of fan of William in the Sci-Fi Center, and visited him a few times. Yes. Yeah. So
yeah, we all tolerate that old man.
we need to get him on sometime too, Ray, because I kind of know William. I don't know if I know him enough. I don't know.
No, I gotta tell you, Ray, meeting William and being in the Sci-Fi Center, actually being there after all of those late nights, after all those streams and everything, was just too much. And then it was so funny because it had been so long since me and William had like some kind of like just debate or back and forth on what we thought about something, and I can't we were talking about, I think, Superman or something like that.
You wasted no time. It was you just dove right into an argument, and it's like, it's funny because I'm at the beginning of this tour of meeting the nerd family, some in person and some online, and I'm standing there, and all of a sudden they're just like, they're going at it, and Austin's pulling his phone out and he's videoing the just the debate going back and forth, and I don't remember what it was because he had just come from that Comic-Con.
Yes. Well, he was with Rhea.
It was some announcement that had been made, and
yeah. Oh yeah, so we were debating something like, well, will this happen or will this not happen or whatever, the same way we always do. But it was hilarious because Austin pulls out his phone, starts recording it, and then I stumped him. I stumped the man. I stumped William. He had nothing. He like drew back, and he was like, he admitted he was wrong about something, and then I called him on it, and then of course he backed out of it because it's me and William. And so it was just a great moment. It was just such a cool moment to be there with him and to meet people. And I can't wait to meet you guys. And it's just, it's just good. Warm fuzzies all over.
Another thing I want to, express gratitude to Enosh for, again, another facet of how I got to know even more people through the community thanks to him. He was interviewing different creators on his channel, and he actually hosted Dave from the Film Junkie. And I'd always seen his channel on the recommended feeds, but I was always a little intimidated of going into live chats, a lot less than I was going to Enosh and Max. But once I got to see, oh, he's literally like a down to earth guy, Yep. I got to learn that he's literally the same off camera as he is on. So yeah, I consider him a good friend now too, thanks to Enosh, and I've gotten to have some opportunities thanks to Dave and Enosh and Max as well. So that would have never happened if it wasn't for y'all. So I'm really grateful for that. So thank you.
Rhea, sure. Absolutely. That means a lot to me to hear you say that, because that's how I always felt. Like I never felt like I still don't think of myself as anything that was any different. You know what I mean? Like I had some background in what I did, so I tried to put, you know, a show together and things like that. But like I always looked at this as, hey, we're having some fun here. We're nerding out. We're, you know, like literally just having that kind of fun, you know. And at some point, yeah, you start getting into that whole nerd culture where you're gonna have disagreements and you're gonna find people that are very passionate about things for whatever reason, you know, and some people will take that too far at times. And I've taken it too far at times. We all can. But, you know, I'm glad it means a lot to me, Rhea, that you have seen my heart with that, because as I've met people, I mean, Max let me in. I remember sending Max a message and saying, like, I had reached out to so many people, you know, trying to
You did tell me that right away. Yeah.
trying to learn anything about streaming, about, you know, about YouTube. You know, I had reached out to some people that I watched. I reached out to some people who weren't very big. You know, I had tried all these things and I couldn't get anybody to reach back out to me. So everything that I learned, I was having to learn on the fly. I was, you know, I didn't have any equipment, man. It's like I still have like all this like cheesy little like, you know, pieced equipment that like's laying around the house and stuff from like when I would make videos and everything. And so when I finally felt like I was established and doing something, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to give other people that too. And I was just like, I jumped in it because Max gave me that opportunity. You know, it was such a big deal for me going on Max's channel because I felt that Max was that. And all of a sudden, Max was streaming with people that I had watched before and I had looked up to and whatnot. And so as I was given that opportunity, I wanted to give other people that opportunity as well. And so that means a lot to me. And it's funny, Rhea, because I forget sometimes the people who came through. Think about RJ. He's in the chat right now. Like,
I try to stop thinking about him.
I know we all, but
he's
you know,
always...
like, I feel like
kidding.
I created a monster.
Yeah.
But no, he was on the right track with me. And then, you know, no, but you know, but yeah, I mean, RJ, I remember RJ being somebody that like, I kept reaching out to, and I was like, cause he would be in the chat and he would have good things to say. And I was like, hey, why don't you come on the channel? You know, and he came on once, and then it was like, hey, why don't you come on again and be on the panels? And, you know, that we did. And there's a lot of people, and I didn't realize there's a lot of people who started doing YouTube after just coming on Poindexter Lounge. And that's super cool for me, you know, to know that there are people still doing stuff, you know, doing what they're passionate about, talking about the things that they're passionate about, you know, and that's what we wanted to give voice to. And even when we did the Poindexter Pantheon thing, that's what that was about, was being able to reach different people and different voices.
I might come back.
Hey.
I might.
Well, you're still running to the max, like after all these years.
Yeah,
so
I said we could potentially stream on this channel again if he wants. You know, to the max Saturday nights.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
We want to talk about what might be coming up with you two as well, plans, goals, and talk about your history of growing up. What got you in, and how long have you known each other too? How long?
I've been talking a lot. Why don't you say
something? Usually.
Yes.
Okay. I am a nerd support person.
Okay.
I've always been so my niche is books.
Books.
I've always been the girl in the corner reading the book.
Nice.
Sometimes simultaneously while the movie is also playing, I dive deep.
Oh no.
So I don't feel like my journey into you know, a universe is complete until I've read everything that has to
that's
do
cool.
with it as well.
Or watched everything.
But also,
in chronological order.
Okay, let me talk. Thank you very much. When I really dove deep into nerd stuff, it was during COVID. I think, or just before COVID, and I went on a chronological journey through Star Wars, and it changed my life.
Oh, really?
It completely changed the story, because I grew up with Star Wars and watching the movies as they came out and stuff. But watching it in chronological order, I even went through the Clone Wars episodes and pieced them together in chronological order. So I had to jump around from seasons, but it was absolutely worth it. It was before all the Disney shows came out. So it was still like the timeline was mostly movies at the time. It really was just Rebels and Clone Wars that were the TV shows that were out. So it was simple. Now I want to go through and do it again now with all the Disney shows interwoven into the timeline, because that would be awesome. But my big thing as a teenager was Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, yes.
Those are the movies that I saw. I saw them when they came out in the theater. I saw the extended versions when they came out in the theater. I probably saw Return of the King 4 times. Extended version at the cinema down in Auburn Hills. So that was Lord of the Rings was that was definitely my favorite.
Somewhere they say Shayna is still watching that movie.
And I I don't have to watch it anymore. I can just listen to it. I can just have it playing and I know what's happening. But it's kind of funny because as we've reconnected, because we've known each other for a little over 20 years. I think we figured it was more than 20.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, but we have like common interests and common groups of friends. So we always kind of like cross paths here and there every couple of years. Oh, hey, it's Enosh, and then you'd kind of forget about Enosh for a while. And then, oh, hey, there's Enosh. And then, we just kind of cross paths and we were living our own lives. And
yeah,
then,
it's been crazy to see like how many Facebook posts that we liked between
that we actually interacted.
Like,
and,
you know what I mean? Like,
everything.
because we were just friends, and so we just, you don't think about, oh, this person liked this, until it's like
Yeah.
10 years later, and you're like, oh wow,
Oh, you were all over that. Interesting. But so it's kind of funny as we're reconnecting, and it's like I have nerd interests, but they're almost like the complete opposite of the spectrum is yours.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
He's all DC and Masters of the Universe, and I'm all like Barbie and Lord of the Rings,
Okay.
It works. It works.
So, anyways, he's Superman, I'm Catwoman,
Oh, okay.
So I've got my own lane. I'm just like I said, I'm just kind of taking the tour, meeting the nerd family, and finding my voice, because I didn't even know that like people talked about stuff like this. I didn't know this was a thing. And the more I meet people that were connected to the lounge and all of that, it's just really cool to meet really good people, just good people that want to have a good conversation. And it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be a bunch of like, I hate this, I hate that. It's just a conversation about some cool movies and toys and stuff. And I love it. I love how positive everyone is, and it's been great to meet all of you and
Cool.
to be welcome in the family.
I'm glad to hear about Lord of the Rings, because I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings too. Yes.
Yeah,
Do you like rings? Oh,
she's
go ahead.
she's actually got me willing. I told her, I said, okay. Because I have famously ticked everybody off on the lounge talking about how I'm just not a fan of Lord of the Rings. I've tried so many times. And I told her, I said, Shayna, okay, for you, I will try
Yeah,
getting
because
through Lord of the Rings again.
he tried telling me that we weren't going to talk about Lord of the Rings on
today?
the lounge. And I was
Oh.
like, hey, my fandom is welcome too. Thank you very much. I was like, if you don't want to talk about it, I will. And
Shayna,
while we're at it, we'll throw in some Outlander and so.
Oh, I've heard about Outlander.
Snow White is coming out. I mean, there's so much.
Shayna, we'll have to get you on when. Do you watch Rings of Power too?
Yes.
Okay,
I
we'll have to-
recently caught up on that.
We'll have to get you on for next season to talk about it.
Nice.
Yeah,
I would
because
love that.
me, Ray, and a few others. It's hard to find us Rings fans.
I'm sorry, but figure drawing in the chat just said exactly why I don't like it. Enosh doesn't like the Lord of the Walking Simulator. The blasphemy. That's exactly why. Because I just feel like the whole movie could have been cut short if they were like, hey, we got these eagle things.
There's
that
a
could,
lot
like, that could
that's
fly us to where we need to go.
that's
Everybody doesn't have to die
that's-
over 3 movies.
hyperbolic BS. It's not just a walking simulator. Yes, that stuff can be a little, but there's a lot of stuff that happens.
I know. Look, as the nerd that I am, and actually it's because of like Lord of the Rings and stuff that I actually came up with my little tagline. This is, don't let anybody tell you that your fandom doesn't matter, and don't tell anybody that their fandom doesn't matter either. Because honestly, it's always easy for us to tease, right? Any teasing that I do about Lord of the Rings is always in fun because I get it. Everything about it says that I should like it. I don't know. I've not had a good experience with it yet, but I feel like I'm at some point going to have a good experience with it. I mean, at one point I hated the movie.
Okay, I have to interject on the chat right now. You can't compare Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. You just can't. They're completely different. We'll get into that another time.
Sure,
but it isn't one over the other.
I like
Sorry,
her a lot. I like her a lot. Yes.
So just
She's
stop.
got hot takes. She's got hot takes. Yes. I like Game of Thrones too, but now I'm intrigued though. Okay. What do you mean by that, Shayna? Like, is you still like Game of Thrones too, though? I know it's not the same
yes.
thing. Okay.
Game of,
Okay.
Yes, House of the Dragon. I'm actually reading Game of Thrones right now.
Okay. Good. You
I
have me
have also
worried.
never watched Game of Thrones.
This will change.
Oh, he needs some homework.
This will change. Even if it's by accident, he will see some of it as
We
I'm
might have
watching
to.
it.
We
You
might have
gotta
to
know that I had to find a woman that wasn't a carbon copy of the one, that was around before. So it's like I had to find somebody who had some different interests and push me,
Yeah, we have to maybe do Clockwork Orange on him, Rhea and Shayna, and like peel his eye
That's a
open
good
to
movie.
watch. That could be like that extended editions too, like all 3 extended editions marathon.
I gotta laugh about this because you bring up the Clockwork Orange. You know that McDowell is in like some Christian movie right now.
No,
I'm
that
sorry.
is kind of odd. That is
like,
kind of odd.
like I've always said this, like Christian movies. There's been some decent, family Christian films. Every once in a while, like a company doesn't just do something to be all preachy, and everybody knows what I do, but I'm just not that way. And so movies like that just are cringy to me. But when I saw that McDowell was going to be it, I'm sitting there thinking, the Clockwork Orange guy
But doesn't he play Satan?
is in a Christian movie. Playing the
Yeah.
devil,
He plays
being
the devil.
sued by a guy. And I was just like,
That's
this is
right.
a weird movie. And weird casting.
But anyways, yes, he will watch them eventually.
I will.
I'm making plans already.
Well, I had a lot of watching. I had a lot of stuff to catch up on.
Yeah, sure.
I got behind in a lot of stuff. I got
Yeah,
behind-
how I know you we still pop up occasionally, and you're doing your service on Sundays, which a lot of people appreciate. Have you found it hard to keep up with everything lately, like the shows, the movies?
There was a time when I did, like when it was hard, and it was mostly just because of everything that was going on at the time, when you're going through a divorce, when you're trying to figure everything out, you're just not as motivated, and I'll be honest with you, there was a lot of that stuff. No, Jimmy, I have not opened my Razor Crest yet. But it's a whole thing.
It's on the list.
It's on the list. Anyways, but that was the thing. It's like, you don't realize sometimes how much the things that you love are wrapped up in other people.
Yeah, that can be difficult.
And so it's like when you go to
Memories
do
and
something
stuff,
and you're like, and you're like, oh, I'm not enjoying this right now. Like, you really want to enjoy it, but you're like, I'm just not, And so that was, it took a while to kind of get through some of that stuff and be able to just enjoy things again for myself, even before I was able to branch out and then start enjoying things with other people, or even talking about them with other people. There would be these moments where it would kind of break through, and I would have a conversation with somebody, and all of a sudden, like, it was like all the cares of the world lifted. I guess that's what I do love about, like, the whole nerd culture that we're a part of, and all those times where we could spend 4, 5, 6 hours, in a stream, or more, talking about stuff that to other people might seem really mundane, but to us, it's part of our life. It's part of those things that kind of like help us to kind of check out from the negative of maybe the week that we've had, or the work week that we've had, or whatever. And we can talk about Superman, or we can talk about, Star Wars, or what, Lord of the Rings, whatever. Right. And so, there was just a time that I really wasn't worried about that, and it's the same reason why I told people, hey, I'm kind of taking a step back. I don't know if I'm coming back to streaming. I don't know what I'm doing, because I got a lot of real world stuff going on in my life. Right. Yeah. And so that was a decision that I made. That was something that I needed to do for myself. And then there came a time where all of a sudden it was like, I was enjoying stuff again. and it was
That's
fun
good.
again.
That's good to hear.
And
Yeah.
and so I'm not trying to bring the room down. It was just like I had to get there though, right? And so it's like once I got there, it was like, okay. And then of course, because I'm just infectious like that, it was like, hey, have you seen this, right? And then it was like, no, okay, well, we got to watch this. And so then it was like I was introducing Shayna to all those things that I loved, and she's introduced me to stuff that she likes, and and we got a lot more to do, of that, but but it's cool too discovering things that we like together.
Well, that's kind of what we fell into is there were certain shows and movies that we both kind of had to avoid for a while for emotional reasons, and so we found new stuff, new stuff to watch together.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there something that you could in your mind that you could think of that you watched recently that together that's like, oh wow? Any recent shows or?
What was that? Oh, Agatha.
Oh, Agatha. Cool.
We watched that in I think one day.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just
Binged
we
it.
picked a
Nice.
Saturday and binged it, and it was and that is kind of an advantage of missing like a year or two of streaming, like watching shows. Is now we get to binge them and we can just cover it.
That's
all in one
true.
day, which is how I like to watch stuff, anyways.
That's what my wife likes. That's why she always watches stuff without me, because I like to watch things that go, did this series jump around? And she's like, I'm not waiting for you. Yeah.
But by the way, King's Portal, Call?
Yeah.
I mean, Ash, this is Shayna.
Yeah, because they were surprised, Cal. This was our first surprise guests because they've been around, but
Been around a minute.
But they hopefully will be seeing more and more of them. We're gonna try. We're gonna try.
Yeah.
That's what we have a goal. Me and Brea to go there to hang out and bring you back.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. But yeah, something that I've actually been really excited to jump back into. Have you watched Ted Lasso?
I like Ted Lasso. I just never finished it. It was a really good show.
I'm just
Yes.
saying, like I know it's not a
really
it's
fun.
not a nerd thing, but let me tell you something, man.
That's a great show.
That show is so great. I had watched the first 2 seasons and had not started season 3 because it came out during that whole time in my life, and I just avoided it. And then when I got to want to watch it, she hadn't watched it, and so it was like, okay, I got to go back and watch 2 seasons of a show. But I loved watching those first 2 seasons again, and now we're like halfway through season 3, and I just love that show.
That's great.
That's a great show.
Cool.
Plus, I see people in the chat, but like stuff that we've watched lately. I mean,
Well,
Skeleton Crew.
yeah, Skeleton Crew we're caught up on. That's been incredible.
That show. I'm so glad that like Star Wars fans in general have not been negative on that show. First of all, there's nothing to be negative on that show about. I mean,
Yeah,
there's always
boring.
nitpick stuff, right? You know what I mean? But I mean, as
Oh,
far
I'm just
as,
kidding.
No, I mean that show, dude. I love that show.
No, I like it. I like it.
I
I'm glad
want to
you
see
guys.
where it pays off.
Okay.
But the idea of having a treasure planet
Yeah, that's cool.
in that world and this secret that, like, dude, the first, what was it, 3-4 episodes? I didn't even know what timeline it was in.
I was gonna say that's where it got my interest, because like the first episode, I actually didn't like it at first. I was just like,
Yeah.
what is this? But then I couldn't figure out what it was.
Oh, okay.
And then I watched
Okay.
the second episode, and I still couldn't figure out when this is happening. And I'm like, okay, now they got me. Now they
Okay.
got me, because I'm seeing stuff from this movie and that movie referenced and that movie referenced.
Right.
And then now they're referencing the holiday special that nobody has seen.
Right.
And I'm
Like that was the
when
amazing.
is this happening?
I was blown away. I mean, because they would reference, like the Old Republic. They referenced stuff that sounded like it was from the prequels, and they referenced stuff that sounded like from the original trilogy. And and then to find out that you're landing basically, a couple years after Return of the Jedi, so right before Mandalorian. That's even cooler, because then where does that go? Right? Because we know that all that stuff is connected now, and then with them announcing season 2 of Ahsoka, and everything, it's like, yeah, I really dig that.
No, I enjoy it, but it hasn't hit for me yet. Like I think it's a decent show. Jude Law's my favorite character, and then Neil, the kid that plays Neil. I saw him also in Dear Santa. I love that movie. He's a good actor. That's actually a decent movie. Me and my wife watched it.
I couldn't pinpoint where I recognized him from, and that was we just watched that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
It is a fun movie. I gotta say, I had to laugh though at the Dear Santa movie, because like we're getting weirder and weirder as time goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love the fact, like, instead of having something that somebody could complain and go, well, it's secret, it's really just the devil hidden behind it. No, it's just the devil.
We're not even hiding
It was a very heartwarming comedy. It was
I know, but it's the
like
devil.
it's messed up.
Like,
Yes,
like,
yeah,
you know
I
what
know.
Also-
Like, okay, like
You, as a preacher, you cannot recommend
well,
that.
no. Well, here's the thing. I love Jack Black. I love Tenacious D. Don't get me wrong. Okay, it's just that you got it. And I'm not overthinking this. This is not me being like super serious about this, but really, when you do break it down and you think about this, we live in a world right now where, like, there are no villains anymore.
I knew this was coming.
She has heard this rant too many times. There are no more villains anymore. Every
Okay.
Spider-Man villain, no, we bring them
Venom,
back
yeah.
for one movie to make them all good guys and just
Yeah,
misunderstood.
we need villains back. Yes.
Right.
Everyone's
So
redeemed.
Make
I mean,
villains great again. Not to get political.
I'm just saying. But
Make
the
villains
problem
villains
is,
again. Make villains
Right.
villains again.
right.
Yes.
And the
make
problem
villains
is,
villains again.
you cannot redeem the devil. That's
Yeah, they
that was
kinda
what I
did.
just
That was that
no, but
movie.
see, that's what made me laugh about it. And it's not really. So, like, but you know what I'm saying? Like that's like the ultimate of, like, every bad thing, you know, like, no.
Well, we will have to
it's-
start a
it's
new
just funny to talk
hashtag
about.
from this interview. Make villains
I like
villains
it.
again.
I like it
You
a
know.
lot.
Yeah. We need to hear
Make
about
villains
more.
villains again. Yes,
Yeah.
make them bad guys.
Yes, I do. I love just a straight up villain. Like, I don't always need to make them.
Right.
Oh, I have to understand the villain now. You know, sometimes I just want a straight up villain. You know,
I love the backstories, but we don't have
Yeah.
to redeem every one of them in every backstory. Like,
True.
you know, give them a legitimate reason why they're evil. Everybody treated them like crap. Okay, cool. Let's watch the movie.
Right. I mean, Lex Luthor wants to kill Superman because he
Yeah,
turned
what
him
if
bald. I mean, so
Well, now Lex, I kind of want him to, you know, you kind of side. Like, I have the feeling about this new Superman movie, and we'll probably get to some current topics too a little bit. This new Superman movie, I really think that people might like Lex more than Superman in this version. You know, I think he, you know, and that would be an interesting, especially when they're throwing the can at Corn Sweat's head. But Shayna, what you said? Oh, he's leaving the room about Superman.
I
Okay.
think he's going to take care of the barking animal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's quite distracting.
Sure. So, Shayna, you said Lord of the Rings is very important to you. And books are very important to you.
Yeah.
Anything else from your childhood nerd culture, like video games, music? I know you sing with Enosh too, right?
I'm a singer. Yeah. and
Yes.
I'm a bit of a chameleon singer, so I will like find a genre of music and just kind of dive into it. And so I've studied opera. I've been in a rock
nice.
band. I've been a solo artist and gone and done, you know, my own shows and stuff like that.
Cool. I didn't know
I've
that.
never played music and I've never written anything. I'm just a singer. So like
Have you gotten to see Wicked in theaters?
Yes, we did. We went to see Wicked last week. We took the kids.
What did
And
you think
so-
of it?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I loved it. He hated it, which was hilarious.
Oh, really?
Because we got into the whole discussion. There are some people that apparently don't like Wicked because they didn't realize Galinda's the bad guy.
Well, that you just brought up the whole thing. He said he disliked
she's
at
an
the beginning.
anti-hero. Yeah, she's definitely
Yeah.
a mean girl for sure.
If you read the books,
Yeah.
you would know this already. She's not a bad guy, but she does play into the whole scheme
She's
that the bad guys have
misunderstood.
going, and
Yeah.
and she chooses popularity over loyalty and friendship ultimately. So it's just so funny. He went on this whole like they destroyed the story, and I'm like, no, the Wizard of Oz is not the only part of the story. That's the point of Wicked. Besides
Yeah.
the fact that they're taking a musical, a Broadway musical,
it's-
and blending it with the book storyline, and
So it's Wicked's fault to start this trend of making villains likable and endearing, and changing the story and giving these, making them, because as soon as I recently started watching it with my wife on VOD, Wicked. We just watched a little bit of it, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like Galinda is kind of annoying and obnoxious. And I got that right away. And I never saw the I like musicals. I never saw the musical, never read it or anything, but I'm looking forward to watching the rest. Okay, so you watched that. So
I was basically raised on Disney princesses.
Disney princesses. Okay.
Yes. So I grew up in a religious family, and it was real popular at the time to be like, no magic, no, anything out of the box. And so the one thing my mom fought for was Disney princesses. We were allowed to watch Disney. And my favorite stories now that I've grown are the twisted storylines where they start to give you the what if type of storyline. So like Once Upon a Time,
Oh,
totally my jam. I love that show.
my wife likes that show a lot. Yeah.
And it's so basically anything Disney or princesses, I've got that covered.
Cool.
Yeah.
You are
Did
a
you-
princess.
I am a little bit of a
She
princess.
is a Disney princess. I can attest for this because I've literally watched her sing to birds outside and watched them like literally sing back to her and come up to her. And,
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
and,
What's your favorite
and I'll just tell you
princess?
this. I'll just tell you this. What she's done with my dog Harley Quinn
Okay.
Aw.
is nothing short of just miraculous. I mean, we got Harley at the beginning of the pandemic, right before I met you, actually, and as she got older, she had so much anxiety. She's on medication, and nothing worked. And then, as everybody knows, what we went through, I got all the dogs, so Harley was right there with me, and I felt so bad for her because she was just so beside herself. She didn't know what to do. Her mom was gone, and and same thing with Marty, because Marty was the little puppy being carted around, and with Shayna, Harley just imprinted right on Shayna. Shayna didn't want it. Shayna doesn't.
We had a conversation. I was like, honey, I have a 4-pound chihuahua for a reason. I don't like big dogs. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm so sorry. We're really going to have some issues. You keep pushing your luck.
And I don't like chihuahuas.
She changed, though. I feel like she understood me. Like, we came to an understanding.
Yeah, she ended up loving Harley, and I ended up loving George, her chihuahua. So now they're all called the Wolf Pack.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah.
So Harley, Wookie, Marty McFly, and George
And
McFly.
George McFly.
Oh,
They were all running around.
They were not named at the same time.
oh wow. Okay.
So
Cool.
that was kind
It
of
was
funny.
meant to be, and so, but yeah, I mean,
Back to the Future is another one of my favorites.
but you look if you watched Harley with Shayna, I mean, it's just amazing. Harley she's so at peace and at ease now. She's not on any medication, anything.
Oh, that's good.
In fact, she listens to Shayna better than she listens to me.
Yeah,
Figures.
she
now.
does.
I mean, like she follows her around, and Shayna will just sing to her, and Harley will just listen, and it's like Harley kind of found her girl,
Yeah.
and
She just needed a girl.
yeah, so that's pretty cool.
All right. I think Ray had a question about what's your favorite Disney princess, and did you have the Disney clamshell VHS, or do you still have them?
The VHS, those are the ones that we had. I think my mom might still have some of those in a box. I don't
Okay.
know. It was a few years back. She was debating donating them, but yeah, we had the originals. And then when
That's right, because you guys are VHS
when
guys.
they would come out of
Well,
the
I
vault,
am. Ray is not.
Oh, okay.
When
Not
they-
yet. Not yet.
when they would come out of the vault, we would go. It was Blockbuster at the time, and go and get the whichever one was out of the vault that 7th year, and yeah, my mom she got the 100th edition VHS or whatever that had like the shiny silver cover on it. But my favorite princess would probably be Cinderella. I relate the most to Cinderella.
Okay.
Second favorite being Rapunzel, and they're both sometimes Rapunzel is portrayed with brown eyes, which I have brown eyes, so
Cool.
That's
Cool.
my girl.
we've also been catching up on Creature Commando. Has been really, really good. Really good.
Listen, can I just tell you something? Like,
Sure.
Rhea, I love your reaction to that, right? Because I don't give a crap about Creature Commandos. This is now something now that James Gunn has done to me now twice, and that is when I saw the first preview for Guardians of the Galaxy, I laughed out loud and I went, "Oh, okay, because Marvel was on this, like banger streak, right? And I was like, that's the one. That's going to be the one. Everybody's going to. It's got a talking raccoon in it and a tree in it. Come on, it's not gonna do well. This is going to crash and burn. And then I went to go see that movie, and I was like, I've never even heard of these characters before, and all of a sudden I walk out really caring about them, and like they're like the heart of the MCU for me. I can't stand like the Frankenstein character in DC. It bugs me because it's Frankenstein. You know what I mean? Like there's just those fringe ones. I'm not a big. I appreciate like the DC like Dark Justice League, for what they do, and I like some of the characters individually. But there's some characters that they throw in there with like you got Zatanna, who's like super cool, right? And then like you have like, I don't know, some character. I'll be darned if that show, Creature Commandos, did not just rip my heart out and just leave me emotional.
Those spoils
Weasel
for
episode. No, that Weasel episode.
Oh my God! Do I have to keep hearing about? I didn't get to that episode yet, but I can't
Dude,
stand.
No,
I don't like
something. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
I don't care. Again, I don't care about these characters, right? I don't care. And I did not. It's not like Weasel stood out in Suicide Squad as being, but the story they tell with him.
And the way they tell it.
And the way that episode ends, dude. Like I am literally getting emotional right now just thinking about it because of what it is, right? And it's not a spoiler. It's just what that episode
William.
is. Hey, William. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so good. It made me care about Weasel. You make me care about a character like Weasel? You know what I mean? And like, I love the Bride, and even I see now Frankenstein's, place in all of that. But you know what? It's just, I love Dr. Phosphorus.
It's a story that almost has to be told in that style of animation, though. They really wouldn't be able to do it justice otherwise. It's just really cool how they've done that in the animation.
And I think it's a cool intro to the DCU. I if there's anything, and I know that we haven't really said we're talking about this, but I think that if it's anything of like condolence to anybody who's mourning what we've lost as opposed to what we're gaining, it's so funny to see everything that comes out and people go, well, that's pretty dark. If they were just going to do dark, it's because it's a good balance, and I dig that. And so yeah, that show's great. Show's great.
Okay, I enjoy it. I haven't finished it yet, and I really Weasel annoyed me. And the Suicide Squad, and even towards the beginning of the show.
Yep.
I know I will get to this episode, and I'll see if I change it. So let's also hear about Enosh's growing up. I know we've probably discussed this before. And Shayna, you gave a lot about their books, Disney, and your singer. Any music or video games in your early in nerddom?
Not really video games.
Okay, we have to work on that.
My brothers played video games, but I was always reading a book. I mean,
okay,
I just was
books over video games.
So, but I liked that one of the ways that Enosh and I connected was we play softball together.
Mm-hmm. Softball.
So I will put the books down to get out and play some sports. Mm-hmm. So
okay,
I know that's not very nerdy. Sorry.
Yep.
Well, they have inside game sports for nerds, like we, do that. We'll try that maybe, because I don't want to go touch grass.
I'm very open minded.
Okay.
I'm game for anything.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, but that's how we met, was playing softball together.
Okay, cool.
We played softball together. I was a pitcher, and it was a co-ed league, and so.
I was one of the catchers.
She was one of my catchers.
One of the catchers. Mm-hmm. So, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Enosh,
it's just funny who the other catcher was, but that's the joke.
Nobody wants to talk about her.
Enosh, you've had a lot of action figures there. Did we ever really discuss how you got started collecting action figures, or your childhood of what got you, what the nerd things that you got into, what started, like your first VHS tape, your first movie you owned, first video game, first album or music CD or cassette or something that you got?
Wow. You know what's crazy is I remember each one of those things that you just mentioned there.
Yeah.
Like each one of those things. Like
Good.
the first VHS that I ever bought was Batman the movie.
Batman. Okay.
89.
Cool.
89. I remember because we had a little party store down at the corner from where we lived, and it was my own money. I had saved up my own money. No, you know what? I take that back. I take that totally back. That was the first time that I bought something brand new that came out, because I pre-ordered.
They were expensive
Batman.
then.
Yeah, it was like $25 or whatever, for a VHS, and I pre-ordered Batman from them. The first VHSs that I ever bought was the Star Wars trilogy, the original Star Wars trilogy. I put them in layaway at Kmart and paid them off I was 10 years old. And every week my grandma.
You were pre-ordering movies at 10 years old? Wow.
Kmart let me put layaway in at 10 years old because I had the money.
We need layaway Kmart back. I know there's still layaway, but it's not the same.
Heck yeah. But I mean, yeah. So like I put those 3 movies back on layaway. It was $60, and it took me forever to pay it off. But I would come back like every week, put my allowance on it. So like I put like $10 on it or something like that, and I'll never forget the day I got them out of layaway, man. I watched those VHSs, man.
Do you still have them?
Yes, I've got a couple. I've got them. In fact, 2 of them are right here in a box that's got some VHSs, and right underneath here, you don't even know about, Max. I got VHS tapes all over the place here.
Me too.
But yeah, so that was my first VHS. My first video game was it depends, because I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s. Pac-Man was my first video game love. I was obsessed with Pac-Man when Pac-Man came out. And then when Miss Pac-Man came out, that became my love. And I love Miss Pac-Man more than any of those games. That's why I have a dedicated Miss Pac-Man arcade game. As far as home games went, my first experience with that was, and I still have that, is my Intellivision.
That's right. We did talk about this.
Right?
Yeah.
My original
something that shall not be mentioned. Yes,
you know what?
That's why we. No. We don't want to talk about it.
We don't have to talk about it.
Oh, we'll talk about your console. Yes, your console,
but
the one
listen,
that exists.
I mean,
Yes.
the fact remains, like, look.
I remember that's how we start. I remember that's how we started talking about your gaming. Yeah,
right.
You still have your television from your grandma, right?
No, it's actually my mom. It's
your mom.
It's one of the few things that my mom actually got for me. And was part of, when my mom was part of my life when I was younger. And so, yeah, so I still have my Intellivision. So that was VHS, video game. What else did you ask me?
Oh, music. Because I know you like, for you too, Shayna, I know you said your family was pretty, because very religious, you wanted to limit what you watched, like with Disney and stuff. Is there any music that you liked when you're growing up, or like first cassette tape or something that you listened to a lot when you were a kid?
It was all Christian music related.
Okay.
But I do have my dad says that I started singing the songs from the Little Mermaid audiobook before I could talk. Like I was singing the melodies and singing the songs before I could really like do anything else. So apparently, the princess thing was in my blood from the beginning, but
cool.
Yeah, no, so I think that's why, like, when I got older, that's why I kind of went like full dive into different genres of music. So like I'm still discovering music that has been around for decades, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, who is this band? And everybody's like, oh, you haven't heard of that? Are you kidding me? Where have you been? I'm like, well, I basically grew up underground, so everything is an experience.
Oh, Kelly came to visit.
Hey, for music, for me, it's such a wide variety of stuff, because I literally love everything. Like there is really nothing. I mean, I'm a white guy who's played in a rock band who, you know, has family and friends from different ethnic backgrounds and musical backgrounds and everything. And I just, man, I sit in with anybody, you know, like I started singing when I was 9. But I remember, you know, because I was born in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother managed entertainment out in Las Vegas for the
Oh, that's
hotels.
right.
And so she was friends with people like, I mean, she dated Engelbert Humperdinck. You know, she was friends with people like Tom Jones and the Jacksons and the Osmonds and, you know, just a lot of those people who were in that scene in the 60s, you know, late 60s, early 70s. And then she changed her life, walked away from all of that. But I remember, you know, growing up listening to a lot of Motown. One of my favorite memories, and I don't even know if I've ever even told you this, but one of my favorite memories is I remember going around the house, cleaning the house with my grandma in Vegas, singing Get Ready, 'Cause Here I Come. Get ready, 'cause here I come. Never met a girl that makes me feel the way that you do. You're all right. And I just thought about that the other day because I saw this video come across on TikTok and it was like the Brady Bunch Variety Hour and they were doing that song. And I was thinking, dang, I used to sing that song with my grandma. So like I had that, but we went to go see like Dolly Parton when she was in her prime. We, you know, like I was listening to those crooners back then, like Engelbert Humperdinck, you know, like, you know, Elvis, you know, all those kind of things. And then my mom was like in her 20s in the 80s. So that's when now I remember hearing things like Quiet Riot, you know, and the Scorpions and, you know, and all this 80s, you know, metal. And then my mom really got me hooked on Van Halen. I got to say, Van Halen was the band that always stood out to me. And I will say it. I love the David Lee Roth Van Halen, but I love Sammy Hagar. It's just a different band, you know, but I love Van Halen. And, yeah, that was probably Van Halen is the one that stands out to me as like the one that kind of helped shape a little bit where I ended up musically, you know, in the bands that I ended up with. But then of course there's the band Petra, which is a Christian rock band.
Yes.
And I ended up playing with the lead singer of that band. And, you know, and that was like a dream come true. You know, I mean, that would have been like being a Van Halen fan and going on tour as David Lee Roth's guitar player. So I did that too. So musically, I had a lot of influences growing up, even though I had a very similar church experience, even that kind of went to my advantage because like I learned like quartet music, you know, like Southern gospel music. My grandma really loved Southern gospel music. So you get like a lot of these quartets and people doing different vocal things and stuff. And so being able to take from all of that, and especially as a musician, to be able to take from all those different kind of things and let it influence you. Mm-hmm. And now I see it in my son, Landon, because like Landon, he just started a band called Craving Violet. And, you know, I see his eclectic musical tastes too. So, you know, it's cool.
That's cool. I saw. Oh, go ahead, Shayna.
I was gonna say it makes it fun performing together too because it's kind of an interesting mix of, because we've both kind of been through a variety of styles and a variety of training and stuff like that. He just whips out his guitar and starts playing something, and I can start singing, and it's like a karaoke party up in here.
Oh, maybe that'll be something we try. Karaoke party. Any good karaoke bars, or is it just at the lounge, the karaoke?
Anywhere and everywhere, but there's places around. Trust me. But if you want to sing the most songs, we host our own karaoke parties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
We host karaoke parties, Max, at the church, right? And it's funny to me because people will literally text me and go, "Hey, I want to do this
I don't know if I'm
song.
allowed to drink at the church because that's how I have to get ready for karaoke. That's going to be complicated. Am I allowed to have a drink at the church?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just don't go overboard.
Bring your own.
Okay.
And you know.
Yeah, we don't have everybody serving it, but you know.
We have.
Okay.
If the night gets late and we run out, Jesus may make some more.
You know it. Oh gosh.
Oh,
I mean, we have.
He makes the good
families
stuff.
there,
What can I
so,
say?
Okay.
you know, that's kind of the only rule is as long as you're cool doing it in front of a 6-year-old, you know, it's up to you.
Then the onus is on you. There you go. That's great.
Do you have any? This is just for no reason at all. Do you have any Van Halen cassette tapes then?
Oh, dude, that's funny that you asked that. Like, because when I was 20 to 21 years old, that's when their Greatest Hits album came out. And that's when it was started hinted that David Lee Roth may come back. That was like the first time. That's when they came out all together on stage at the VMAs. And then they ended up getting into a fight that night, and it ruined the whole thing. And so, because they couldn't get along. But I love that because that album came out, and I had that tape. And that tape was just long enough. I could listen to that tape 3 times a shift. I worked in this little plastics factory up here in Michigan. And during my shift, I could put that tape on. And my boombox, I had a boombox that I took to work, and so I'd take that and I'd put on that Greatest Hits Van Halen album, and it would flip over, and it would do so I could get through 3 times, and like it made my work night go like just like that, you know. But I still have that tape around somewhere. Yeah, I still got a bunch of cassette tapes, dude. Yeah, I still got a bunch of cassette tapes still.
All right, cool. That's
I was
good.
I was analog, dude, for the longest time. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I loved tapes. I literally got used to that tape hiss. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a weird thing. And I think it's so funny nowadays because everything is done digitally as far as recordings and stuff. And they try to like add that stuff back in. And it's just like, yeah, I get it. But at the same time, you know, it's like, there was just something special about that. But yeah, man, I got tons of cassettes because I wouldn't buy a CD player for the longest time. And then I finally got a CD player, like, you know, in the early 2000s. And then everybody was getting DVDs and stuff, and I was like,
well, even now, we were riding in the car when we first got together, and I'm like, just pull up Spotify. What are you doing? He's plugging in his iPod, and I'm like, where did that come from? How is that even alive right now?
That's great. I want a classic iPod. That's a great thing.
30 gigs, man. 30 gigs.
I'm still rocking a CD player in my car. I wish it had a cassette player.
Heck yeah.
I wish I had a CD player in my car.
Speaking of which, Ryan Hartwell is here, and I just want to say something.
Uh-oh.
Hold on just a second. You're talking about CDs.
Okay.
All right. Talking about CDs. Ryan sent me this for Christmas, and I have not. I tried to find him, but I don't know, like if he left a couple of social medias that I'm on with him or whatever, but I haven't been able to find him. But he sent me the soundtrack to Roswell.
Oh, cool!
How cool is that?
That is cool. Ryan's a good dude. Yeah,
Ryan is a great dude. Joe, you like my butt. But no, man.
It's looking better than ever. I've seen his butt before on I've streamed enough with Enosh that I understand his butt's looking better than ever. Yeah.
There's less and less of me every day. I'm having to wear big hoodies now to look like there's anything to me anymore. But no, man, I was like so yeah, Spotify.
I also saw I don't know where I saw it. Might have been Instagram or your YouTube channel of you and Landon, right? Jamming. He was on the drums and you're playing a new guitar thing, and it sounded really good. Any plans besides the preaching angle to get more music? You were also in a musical lately. If you want to share that with people, that was a lot of fun. I saw pictures from that. You made a great. I shouldn't spoil it for you. Could tell the audience who you played.
Yeah.
Well, if you want, I can maybe find some of the pictures.
Okay, that'd be nice. Yeah, picture time. We haven't tried that on this How You Met yet.
I was invited to to do this musical called Lovesick, and we needed a lead guy that was willing to dress up in a cat suit, a grown man in a cat suit.
Oh, that one. I was talking about Star Trek.
Oh,
okay,
Star Trek too.
No, that one too. Definitely cat suits. Get the cat suits.
That's how it started. Was the cat suit, and it was like there was just
starts with the cat suit.
There was no one else. There was no one else that would be big enough.
You're more of a man than me,
enough
Enosh. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, to prowl around the stage like a cat for 2 months. And he did, and sing and like it was
You know what?
beautiful.
I loved it.
So then
Okay.
that was his first experience with live theater, and so that kind of gave him the confidence to step into his lead role, which was as Captain James Tiberius Kirk.
Yes. That's the one I
in
really liked.
Star
Yeah.
Trek. So, and it was sort of a musical, wasn't it? Because it was the hippie episode, and you do like a whole Shatner thing.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to find the pictures of some of the
Yeah,
stuff so that
pictures
I
or
can bring
didn't
them up.
happen. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
We
our
need to
host,
see
our
Enosh
host
as a
doesn't
cat.
have our pictures. So
I actually you need to send it to me on X because I need to refresh my emojis, and I would love a cat Enosh
a
emoji,
cat
or
Enosh emoji.
That would be amazing.
or a Kirk Enosh emoji as well. That would be perfect.
That would be pretty sweet.
I still have
gotta
this
say.
on here somewhere. I don't know what. I don't know why that's still in the StreamYard
great.
after all this time.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Man, that
Cat
brings
Kirk.
back memories.
Cat Kirk. Yeah.
That brings back.
Get more questions in, everyone. We have a few lined up. We're probably going to ask Enosh, and then Ray, if you have some questions prepared, or if it's current topics, you could do that too. We could throw in some current topics as well.
Whatever you want to
But
do.
we want to know if you're hinting at anything in the future, like you'll be back with more. The lounge will be back, or what your plans to do. I know you're gonna. I know I'm trying to get you in a Tape Hunters episode to do VHS. You're gonna be a guest stars in the Tape Hunters episode. So we'll be doing that at the very least when we meet up.
For sure. Okay, so this is as I'm looking for photos here too at the same time. No, let me stop and just say I never walked away because I didn't like it or didn't enjoy doing it anymore. I needed a pause and a break. And honestly, from this, and I guess this is making me like it's made me kind of nostalgic. It's made me think about my life and like what's important, There is something to the fact, and I can't deny it, there's something to the fact that like it's been almost 2 years since I've really done it regularly. And to still have the friends that I have, and to still have the people that reach out to me literally on a weekly basis asking me when I'm coming back, like, when are you going to stream? What are you going to do? And that part is great, and then I still think it's funny. And Shayna coming into this is she thinks it's pretty humorous. It like even the people who are annoyed by me, the fact that I've been gone for 2 years and I'm still being discussed. I'm still being talked about even in those types of ways.
I'm amazed at how the haters still be hating.
I don't
Like it's crazy.
yeah, I don't
Who
get it.
are you? Like,
Right.
they care about you so much.
But it is what it is, right? And so it has made me really think a lot. And Ryan, no, you're right. Like there's a lot to be said about balancing online with real life. And you know what I've realized is there's a lot of people that even people I streamed with that thought they knew me. And they didn't. Thank you, Rhea. Because I mean, like people, they see you on a stream, or they see you on something, and they think that they know who you are or what you're about. And I know who I am. And having gone through what I went through this last year, I had to rediscover who I was in a lot of ways, and rise up out of that. And so, yeah, like I'm not done. I will say this: we are currently. She so wants me to do this, and so like I'm thankful for that. We are currently putting together plans for what that will look like. I could tell you this: I am not going to. I don't see a world in which I come back doing the midnight to 5 a.m. show every night.
Yeah.
Just because life is just not there at this point, right? And I appreciate, because there's people, they crack me up, but they're like, yeah, we need you back every night the same way that it was before. It's just not the same. And I'm like, I love you all. I know that I can't commit to that, but you know what? I could definitely tell you there could be a time very, very soon where there's a couple episodes of the Poindexter Lounge a week, and then maybe peppered in with some, toy reviews and some other reviews, movie reviews, and things as they come out, and TV show reviews that aren't necessarily live streams, and things like that. And so that is definitely on the horizon. And 2025 will definitely see more Enosh and more Shayna and more of the rest of my family.
And more Lord of the Rings.
More Lord.
Make that resolution as well.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah,
I think people are happy to hear that. Yes.
So yeah. So
it's
we'll
just a matter of coming back without overcommitting and underperforming.
Right.
Well, you have a full house again too. It's like a sitcom. Like you combine all these.
No idea.
Yeah, I do. I have somewhat of an idea, but not till I visit. Yes.
Dude, I joked for the longest time that it was like I got it was like, you know how on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air you come back and like Aunt Viv is a different person the next season, right? It'd be like being on a sitcom where you're the only one who came back.
Everyone else was recast.
Everybody else was recast, and then they were like, yeah, but you know what? Those 3 boys that were on the show before, they were really great, so we're going to bring them back too. We're still going to keep them in the show too.
And here's another dog.
And here's another dog, yes. And, and it was just like okay, the role of Enosh will now be played by. And yeah, but no, I'll tell you what, it has been interesting around here, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's great.
But
I'm going to find out firsthand. I think a couch
is
reserved for me in the dog pack. Is it called the dog pack? What are they called? The wolf pack. I'm going to join the wolf pack for the weekend. Dogs love me.
I think we might be able to come up with a bed for you, but
okay. Well, sorry. Okay, so we could talk about some current topics too. Rhea, did you have any questions you wanted to ask? Oh, we have some interesting questions we do sometimes. Just some weird ones. I like to come up with. What would be if money was no option? You had all the money in the world. What would be the perfect day for Enosh and Shayna? What would you do? If you didn't have to go to work, you just had all the money in the world. What would you do every day? Well, I would assume Shayna would be reading Lord of the Rings again or something.
Probably, yeah.
Shayna would probably take her Barbie camper. She has a Barbie camper.
Yeah, but you won't go with me in it, so this is not a.
Wait, an actual bar? I thought you meant like a Barbie-sized camper for Barbies.
No, it's a me-sized camper.
A you-sized camper?
Yes.
What?
It's a work in progress. So I bought it.
What?
Right outside the house right now, man. It's literally right outside the house.
It's really adorable. It's like olive green and pink and white. And inside, I don't have, if money were no object, that's probably where I would put my money, is remodeling that. Because everything inside is going to be pink and sparkly, if it isn't already.
Gosh.
And yeah, it's very exciting.
A Barbie camper. That's very interesting.
She's hardcore, man. You can't stop this girl.
No, I'm not afraid of camping. The ultimate experience camping is going out in the woods where nobody can find me, and I pop a tent and dig a hole and build a fire, and I'm fine. I'm fine. You won't hear from me for 2 days, and I will be fine. That is my kind of camping. But he will never do that. He's a city boy through and through. So
I am too. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Every time I go camping, my tent gets flooded. Without fail, every time. Like literally, we had friends at one time buy us an 8-person tent because they were like, well, your tent just sucks. Set it up, and I kid you not, it flooded. Like it just, and it's nothing that we did. It's just like it had a leak and it just did. So like I like the concept of camping. Mm-hmm. And actually camping in the camper is more, but I'm not the type of person to want to go out in the middle of the woods where there's like more of everything else besides me. You know what I mean? Like so but I know that she loves that, and so there will be compromise along the way, but yeah, she has the Barbie camper.
But what would a day What would
For
it?
me,
Us.
for us.
It's supposed to be for us. Yeah, that was.
Well,
my
I mean,
question.
it could be. We've never asked a couple before, so it could be
Yeah,
individually or
and
and combined.
we're a new couple, so we're still trying to figure out what
Yeah.
a
I
day.
think we
what
both
a day
like
together
tropical.
looks like.
All right, I think we both like tropical places.
Yeah, it would definitely be somewhere warm with a hot tub involved.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Heck yeah. Definitely with the hot tub. And yeah, I don't know, we probably something musical,
Okay.
like well, a few of I will just say we went to go see Living Color together.
That was fun.
Very memorable
That was fun.
concert.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very wonderful. So I feel like we would probably find something, like if money was no object, we'd probably want to go somewhere and see some kind of cool...
So you'd want to take your Barbie camper trip with you on a plane or wherever to a nice place with a jacuzzi, hot
We'll just
weather,
fly to Hawaii.
and then go see a musical.
There you go.
Okay, perfect day.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Perfect. Cult of personality all day long, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, so that is something else that I have taken a deep dive into wrestling since dating Enosh. Yeah, WWE. And
She
it's
actually
been a
drew me back
it's
into
been a
wrestling.
revival of wrestling for him and his family. But I am hooked on WWE.
Oh, really?
Yes, the first time it was like I'm like watching this. I'm like, okay, we're gonna watch. Okay, Monday Night Raw. You go ahead, Enosh. You tell me all the stories. I'm just gonna sit here and eat my popcorn. No, by the end, I was like, who is the like these stories are terrible. They're just terrible. Like, why can't they get better at writing these stories? And then I had to watch the next week because I had to see what happened in the next terrible part of this terrible saga. And then I know I was hooked. I was hooked.
There's
Yeah.
a lot in our
haven't stopped
community that
watching.
are wrestling fans. I like it. I enjoy it. Ray, do you enjoy wrestling too? I know there's so many people or friends that are into wrestling.
I haven't gotten into it.
Okay. I like the games and the video games based on wrestling and the supplemental stuff like movies about wrestling and stuff or TV shows. I love that stuff about it. Not, the actual events I enjoy. Yeah, I only watched WrestleMania for The Rock. Right.
For me,
I hadn't watched wrestling in forever. And when Shayna came back, my boys got back into wrestling because CM Punk came back. And he had been gone for 10 years. And there had been all this controversy about it, like real world stuff that happened. I mean, he was really sick and they wouldn't treat him, and he tried to get time off just to heal up and they wouldn't let him. And there was a whole thing about it, 10, 11 years ago. And when he left, it really disappointed my boys. And honestly, it took the joy and the fun out of wrestling for them, and it just wasn't the same because CM Punk was their favorite wrestler, and he had this energy to him, and so he's been gone. So when CM Punk came back, my boys were just like, "Dad, you got to watch it, right?" And so it was like right at that time, Shayna was around and
we
stuff.
started watching Heels.
Heel. Have you
Yep.
seen Heel?
I want to see that show,
And
but
that was-
it's on like Stars or something, right?
Yeah, that was I think it's on Netflix.
It's on
now.
Netflix now.
They just
Oh,
moved it.
okay. I could watch it because I watched Glow, the Gorgeous Ladies of
Yep.
Wrestling. I like that show a lot, and then they canceled it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really wanted to watch Heels with Green Arrow, right?
Yep,
Stephen
Stephen
Amell.
Amell. Dude, that show is so great, and it did.
For me, it gave me the bigger picture of like, oh, this is live theater. That's all it is.
Mhm.
It's live theater on a big trampoline. And
Right.
they're throwing each other around. Like, it's fascinating.
Oh,
All right,
here we
cool.
go. Okay. Now, I haven't used StreamYard in a while, but I know I can still present, right? So-
Present, yeah, and then
Okay, don't want to do that.
video file or
Or
video file or share screen.
share
Yeah.
screen. Okay, here we go. Got that one. Hold on a second. No, I didn't want to share my entire screen. I was trying to share this. Give me a second.
that one picture.
I know. Why is it only showing that one picture? Pulled up the other one. Oh, that's why. Because it didn't pull it up, did it? Oh, that's why. Because it's on Facebook. That's why. Sorry, I'm doing my crash tutorial, buddy.
That's all right.
Okay, so I need to then go to that. but then I can't go to that.
I think you have if you share and then go to.
Yeah, I'll have to share it and then go to it. Okay. So I just shared that, and then
Okay.
I will go to. This was. Can you see that?
Yes.
So that is Enosh as a full-grown human-sized cat.
Yep, that's me as.
He was lucky. My
Does he
cat
still
was
wear it
lucky.
around the house? How does the wolf pack deal with this? I would love to see the wolf pack react to the. That should be your. Can you make that video for your channel? The
I
wolf
could.
pack reacts to the
So
cat.
it's funny because the actual. I'm gonna pull this off for just a second, and I'm gonna find another picture.
Yeah.
But no, it's funny because I actually have the entire show up on the Poindexter Lounge.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, the entire show is
I missed that one.
the entire Lovesick show is on Poindexter Lounge. It sure is. So, yep. So if you guys are interested in seeing that at all, it is on Poindexter Lounge. You can see me
I'll
dressed
do a
as
watch
cat
party.
and-
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. And actually we have Star Trek as well. I just have to I have to edit it. It's not edited because the stage was so big because we had to use like okay, here we go.
There you are.
Yep, I got Kirk coming up here. But we had one oh, here we are. This will work. Okay, I'll share again. Whoops, that's not it. Do. Allow me to share.
The suspense.
I know it's killing us, isn't it? There we go. Present. There we go.
There it is.
There's us.
So I played Janice Rand.
Aw, very nice
And he
picture.
was Captain Kirk.
Yep. So so that was Star Trek. But yeah, the Star Trek stage, we doubled the main stage for the bridge and for different parts of the ship. But then we had some parts that were down off the stage and to the right. And so I had to kind of I didn't have multiple cameras, and so I'm editing it together anyways. And so but it was a lot of fun, man. We had a lot of fun during that whole
That's cool. So it's what it got you back into. I don't know. Were you in musicals or dramas before Enosh and Shayna, or this is
I
some reason?
was.
Okay.
It's something that I've done for a while, and it was a new experience for him, and it was just kind
Okay.
of yeah. We just kind of dove into it because it was good timing. He needed something fresh, something new, to kind of snap out of it a little.
yeah.
I'm getting distracted by the slideshow that's happening.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is our whole thing. But yeah, it was so much fun. I should find the cat one.
Are you still
Better.
sharing? Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not anymore. There we go. But no,
Nice.
it was really cool for me to play that part. If for anything else, a lot of people know that I've always been a big guy, and for most of my life, and I always struggled with my weight and whatnot. And so in this last couple years, I have finally seemed to get a handle on that. And it was really cool because when I was asked to play this role, I thought to myself, that's a role I probably couldn't have convincingly played a few years ago.
Okay.
And it meant a lot to me because it was like another part of that journey, that kind of solidified. Yeah. Okay. I've come through a lot. I've been through a lot. I've been big, little, skinny, everything else. And now,
That's great to hear. Like, I can't imagine, having that opportunity, and then it made you really think about, oh, this is different now. Getting that role like that. That's
right.
That's great. Props
Right.
to you. You will not be seeing me on a musical stage or acting. Maybe karaoke. That's about as far as I go.
Well, I do. You were talking about me and Landon.
Yes.
Here we are in my living room.
Yes.
Jamming out because we were putting some stuff together, and
Look at that.
this is me and my beard.
And any music coming? You also did when to release the Snyder Cut days. You did executive producer.
Yeah.
And any other plans for new music?
Yes.
Okay.
So Shayna and I have been talking about doing some new music for a
Oh,
while. And
cool.
so we were actually in the process. We were actually rehearsing. We were putting some stuff together. We were putting a show together and everything. And Landon was drumming, and I was playing guitar. We had another bass player at the time, and so we had this whole thing kind of planned, and then I got sick. I was sick the entire month of October. I ended up with a major kidney infection.
Oh, wow.
I actually went septic. I didn't work the entire month of October. I spent 2 weeks in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, I almost died. Like, it was a whole thing. And so after coming out of that, then there's the holiday season and stuff. And so we haven't. Thank you, CJH. I love the Mike Zero side. It's great that people remember that stuff, because like a lot of the music that I've done my entire life, I've tried to be really serious about, and so I love the fact that people love the comedic stuff that I've done, like the Mike Zero thing, and even the you brought up like the associate producer thing, and yeah, I'm proud of that stuff.
I would like to see you do more parody stuff.
More parody stuff. Cool.
Yeah,
the next Weird Al.
Right.
I do a lot of I do a lot of parody stuff around the house and everything, and so but we're talking about stuff. I know Shayna's been writing, and I've got some stuff that I've wanted to record for a while and just haven't. So there are definitely plans for more music this year. And I will say that, like, so with Shayna and I, something that we didn't even talk about, Shayna and I have a ton in common. Like, it's uncommon. It's weird sometimes because like I started in ministry really young in my life, about 7 years old.
Yeah, I started platform ministry at 7, singing in front of congregations of people.
Oh, wow.
My grandma was the pastor of the church that I grew up in.
My grandpa was the head pastor of the church I grew up in.
The school that I went to, I ended up going to school. I was homeschooled from 7th grade on.
I was homeschooled from 7th through 12th through graduation.
Oh, okay.
Graduated a year early, and it was through the same homeschooling curriculum. That never happened.
And we didn't know each other or any of that stuff, right?
It was a really obscure program.
Yeah, and both of our birthdays are September 24th.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. She sings, and I mean, can I just tell you, like, the day that this girl showed up, I just went, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Aww.
That's great.
Because, look, anybody who's known me knows that, like, I have a different kind of life, right? And so, like, and I'm a different kind of person, and Shayna has been just perfect for that. And I'm super thankful for that. And so, yeah, so there's just a lot of things that, like, we want to do. It's just a matter of time of getting around to them, and having the time to do it. But a lot of it, I'll be honest with you, man. Just full disclosure, like, I had to get divorced first.
Okay. Yeah.
That took a while.
And it took a while, and like it wasn't anything other than delays,
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's really hard to start. I think I even joked with you about it when you were talking about first coming up here, right? And I'm like, you better get up here soon, because I don't know if the lounge is going to be around, like, because it's a divorce and you just don't know, right? And obviously we're all here friends, like, acting like we don't know what happened is,
it's inspiring too. And I know you've done stuff for, especially being the Snyder Phantom suicide prevention. It's inspiring to, just keep going, just get back up on that horse, and doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. And you may even be in a better place, honestly. And I honestly see that for you right now. Like, I think you're even in a better place than when I first met you. And I'm very happy for you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's all I can say, like, is just thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate the love that has been shown for Shayna, and the way that people have reached out to her, not even knowing her, but just knowing that she's somebody special in my life, and that she's going to be around, from the first time I introduced her, and I was like, hey, Shayna's going to be around. So
I know, I just showed up one day.
Here she is, and I love that. And and I'm really thankful for everybody who's been normal about it, you
Mhm.
know, and been like, hey, stuff happens in life, right? Sometimes life sucks, and I'm not the first person to go through a divorce. I'm not the last person who's going to go through a divorce. I'm not the first person that was part of something, you know, that something like that has happened to. It's where we go from here, you know, and that's the point. Is where we go from here, and I think that we got a great foundation for where we go from here, and you know, we move on and we live life, and we go back to enjoying the things that we enjoyed, and we, like we've talked about today, we find new things that we enjoy. And you know, like, who knows, a couple years from now I may be talking about Lord of the Rings and going, man, I swear I hated it forever.
You will.
But the right girl comes along, and all of a sudden, you know, I mean, look, she's made me like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
You're a Swiftie?
I wouldn't say I'm
He's
a
a
Swiftie.
closet
Yes, he is.
Swiftie.
Yes, he is.
Closet.
I
Swiftie.
wouldn't
If
say-
he says she made me like to, yeah, he is.
Well, I got to preface that because I wouldn't say she made me like Taylor Swift, because, you know, like, I've always maintained that I respected her.
You never disliked her.
Yeah, I never disliked her.
Mhm.
It's just that, you know, it is what it is, right? It's that kind of, you know, music. The funny thing is like, the more I've listened to it being around Shayna, the more I realize, like, no, it's actually really smart. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, so like, but that goes to show again that
She's a genius.
well, I don't know about that. It just shows me that, like, I'm well-rounded, right? And I can enjoy Taylor Swift. But no, I love this girl. She has been a breath of fresh air, man.
Glendor says he's going down a path I cannot follow. Listen, I appreciate Taylor Swift as well.
Glendor, it's me. I'm the
He's
problem.
not
It's
listening.
me. It's me. I'm the problem.
You better pony up for those Swiftie tickets sometime.
Are you kidding me?
My birthday.
Yeah, I would
my
love to
birthday
see
is coming up. You'll never forget when it is.
Let me ask you guys a question. What brought us all together at some point in some fashion, even if Rhea came in a little bit later after I got to know you and everything. There is a movie coming out this year that is going to be very, very important. What are you guys' feelings about Superman?
Oh, that's perfect segue. I was going to bring it in. You mean Puppy Bowl Superman?
Puppy Bowl? Seriously?
Yeah. This I made this image. It's equivalent to Henry Cavill's The Super Bowl. Corn Sweat's The Puppy Bowl. Perfect analogy. Lord. James Gunn. What a downgrade. What a downgrade.
Lord.
We're getting Puppy Bowl Super. No, I'm just kidding. I just thought I saw that image on X with
I consider that an upgrade.
Oh, okay. So I saw the Man of Steel versus Superboy on X, and then I just used that because I found out the Puppy Bowl is going to have something for Superman. No, I'm loving Corn Sweat as Superman, but yeah, go.
Daniel Martinez, one of my no Cavill, no money hoodies. I love that. That. I still have that out there.
No Cavill, no money.
Yeah, do you remember when I put that? Were you around? One night I just got silly because everybody was like really pissed off right when Cavill got fired after Black Adam.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made this thing that just said, no Cavill, no money, or no me, no Cavill, no money, or something like that.
I have a video flipping out right after James, because I love me and Ray like Black Adam, and Cavill's back at the end.
Right.
And then they announced James Gunn, and then he's like, no, we're not doing that. And I was so angry. I was like, James Gunn, my wallet is closed.
It is still available. RJ, it is still available. It is still in our Teespring. You can still buy. Remember, there for a while I was gonna have. Remember, I was joking that I could have personalized condom packages made.
I don't remember that.
And we put that. we actually brought up the image. We made an image. We were designing it on the show one night. We did some stupid stuff at 4 a.m.
I think you did.
Dang, it's no wonder I got fired from a couple jobs. No.
Oh no, don't say that.
No, I didn't. I got accused. I got fired from one job because somebody said penis on my show one night, and I still don't know what that was all about.
That could have been random anything.
According to the internet, I've lost every job, or like I'm destitute. I don't know what I'm surrounded by then, but like apparently. I don't know. I've heard so many weird things about myself since I've left. It's not even funny.
Well, we got to get Enoch. We got to get Enosh and Shayna's hot take on Superman Corn Sweat, because I know you're. I don't know if I've heard your take on it yet.
You want to go?
The trailer. What was his thought? What did he say? Did you watch the trailer together when you first watched it? What's your thoughts on the trailer? You've seen the trailer by now.
I watched it working.
I think we watched it separately.
Okay.
But we both watched it the day it came out, and I'm coming into this completely open-minded. I just recently watched through the Christopher Reeve Superman movies.
Oh, wow.
Again, to like refresh. I'm getting into Creature Commando, and we went through all the Zack Snyder movies and just got kind of caught up on DC in general. So I'm coming into it like open arms. I'm ready to see a cool movie. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy. I have nothing against anybody.
No biases at all.
I'm really excited to see a new movie. I
went outside the fandom to get a normie.
Whatever story they're about to tell, I'm all in. I'm totally gonna watch it. And then the full-length trailer dropped and showed Crypto, and like I'm crying by the end of the trailer, and I'm like, okay, I have to see this in the theater for sure. We can't like not see it in the theater because I'm gonna be bawling. There's gonna be. It's got me. He goes off on these rants that people drag him into, like nitpicking things I didn't even know people cared about. Like,
you just described the internet. You just described the internet.
Oh, you guys are upset about what today? The movie doesn't come out till next year. It's just.
We need a segment from Shayna. You're
Every
upset
day.
about what today?
It'll be
and that'd
called
be the
yeah.
topic.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
perfect. I can help you with your. I know good ideas.
You're
You're upset about what today? And then have
today?
Shayna do like a minute video. Like you're
My
upset about
hot
this.
take. My hot take on the day's news.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, I'm really excited to see it. And with that, I'll turn it over to the expert.
The funny thing about that is her coming on and thinking that she this whole thing, the expert, because people are so funny.
It was crazy because the day the trailer dropped, I did not hear from him for hours, and I knew why. I was like, I think I called you on your way home from work, and I was like, are people totally blowing up your phone today? And he was like, you will not believe. I'm like, I figured that's why I haven't heard from you, because everybody wants to know, what does Enosh think about Superman?
Right.
You are the expert, I
But
guess.
but that's cool. That's cool. And I love that. Daniel Martin.
What?
He wants to know your opinion on the undies.
Oh, I don't care. So, well,
You can't
I'll
do
take
that.
it back. Okay.
You can't do that in movie talk.
I
You
can't take
say,
it
"I
back.
don't
Okay,
care."
well, I guess I
You
do
gotta
because I
take
have.
it-
Hold on,
you gotta
wait,
take
wait,
it-
wait.
It is recorded. There is, my opinion has already been voiced on this. Remember, there was I think it was on the vodka stream. I prefer briefs over boxers, and I don't care how long the cape is as long as we can see the butt every once in a while.
Okay. Fair point.
I
Yes.
need.
Do you
to-
imagine
I need
how-
to-
I'm just gonna be
Go
honest.
ahead, Rhea.
We should all watch that video of the actor who's going to play Green Lantern. He does a Soul Train line for the Jennifer Hudson show, and I love
yeah.
the comment section of it, and I'd love to get everyone's review of it
Yes.
and like pinpoint exactly why people are clamoring about it.
Yes.
We don't have to. I'm joking, but yes,
Yeah.
folks,
Right.
find that video. It's amazing.
But yeah, I just I think it's funny because people there were people who legitimately wanted my opinion, right? And then there are people, who just want to be like, for some reason everybody they think that I'm there's people out there who think that I'm a Snyder bro, that like that was the only Superman that I liked for some reason. And I don't know, look, we talked a lot. How many nights have we spent together, Max, talking and voicing the name Zack Snyder?
Mhm.
Right? So because I do love those movies. I love Man of Steel. You can never take that away from me. And no amount of laughing emojis will ever make me back down from loving Batman v Superman. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't care. I was laughing because when you just said, like, I don't care or whatever, you know, it just made me laugh and think, like, how many nights would arguments have just totally stopped and streams would have totally ended if we would have asked the question, what do you guys think about this? And everybody on the panel just went, I don't care. Like, you know. Like, it reminds me of Harrison Ford when they're like Harrison, if you know Han Solo did so and Harrison just looks up and is like, I don't care. It's a movie. Yeah. I did a job. That was it. You know, and so but there are still those who want my opinion. And so Superman for me is Superman. I love Superman. I love the 40s, you know, radio dramas. You know, the 30s and the 40s radio dramas. I love the Fleischer cartoons that first came out. I love George Reeves, you know. And of course I love Christopher Reeve. I grew up with Christopher Reeve. He was my first live action Superman, but I grew up with Super Friends. I grew up with the Superpowers action figures that I still got a ton of them around here, and collect the new ones. I never had an aversion to Superman just being fun and whimsical and all those things. It was just that I remember picking up the trade paperback for The Death of Superman. And I had never collected comics. I had a one-off comic here and there, but I had never actually sat down and actually read comics. And of course, you know, Superman was always my favorite, and always a part of my life. But it was all the other media, which is funny, right? Like, I had a couple of Superman comics, but it was all the other media that influenced my Superman. And then all of a sudden I picked it up because I was going to do laundry one night. We just got back from vacation, and instead of doing laundry at home, I went to the laundromat with my friend Rusty, and I needed something to do for the time that we were there. So I went over to Meyer, and I picked up that trade paperback for $5. And I remember sitting there reading it, just captivated by it, thinking, this is a comic book. Holy crap. Look at this writing. Look at these characters who's this character? I don't even know who this guy is. What they're talking about Justice League, but I don't remember any of these people. And there's Doomsday, there's Superman, and it hooked me. And so then I started reading back issues and back issues and back issues, because now I was reading a Superman that Clark was the real person and Clark mattered. Mm-hmm. That Clark wasn't just a throwaway, because I remember watching you know, the Christopher Reeve movies, and that was always the one thing that kind of bothered me about it, was like Clark didn't really matter. You know, he would talk to Lois, and Lois, you know, would just kind of blow him off and just be like, you know, like he doesn't, right? And so I liked that all of a sudden Clark mattered. Clark was the real person. Superman was the mask that he wore to do the job that he did, but he was Clark. And that just meant a lot to me. And so yeah, Crazy Joe, man, John Byrne, when he revamped Superman in '86, just I didn't know at the time that that's where it had stemmed from. Thank you, Sean. And Sean, by the way, I still want to do something with you, man. I know we were talking about it for a minute.
Oh, this gun hater? No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Sean, but people really on my channel are really upset with Sean's takes.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anybody's takes now. I just love people, but
no, I know.
But that was the thing. But that was the thing, was like, I didn't even know John Byrne was responsible for my love of Superman at that point, until I went back and read that miniseries, the Man of Steel miniseries that relaunched it in '86, and that was it. From there, like that did it for me. That was the Superman I loved. And so I see personally a lot of Zack Snyder's characters in the way that the characters were when I was reading, when I got into comic collecting. That's what I see is that era.
Okay.
And so it means a lot to me, and you know, and that's fine. But that's not to say that I don't like other stuff. So when I see, you know, I've always said I was going to give James Gunn's Superman the chance, right? I said, look, I could be here a year from now going, this movie is amazing. This movie is the best Superman movie ever. Or I'm going to be honest, if it sucks, I'm going to be like, Yeah, it sucked. It was horrible, and what we waited for that, right? I'm going to be honest with it either way. I like a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing. I don't have a problem with colors. I love the cape, the way that it flows, and the fact that it has the embroidered S on it, the yellow S. That right there is the kind of stuff that, yeah, you're going to win me over with every freaking time, because I have missed that yellow S, and I have been pissed off at every animator who goes, well, we don't put the yellow S on anymore because it's too hard to animate the yellow S. Like, really? This is 2025, and you're going to tell me you can't, it's hard to animate a yellow S on the back of the guy's cape, but they were doing it in Super Friends the hard way back in the 70s. Shut up. Right? It's just like, so you put that S on there, you got me. It's kind of weird, like it's interesting, the crest that he's using, but it's a legitimate crest. So why would I argue with it? I want to know what the story that he's telling with it, right? Is he just being quirky, and is Gunn just being quirky and different to just put that style of S, from Kingdom Come on there, or is there a reason? Yeah, thank you, Obin. Yeah, like that was a huge win for me. So, there's all that. And so seeing the trailer, I had some concerns before the trailer about crypto. Honestly, when they announced crypto,
I said it was a bad idea.
I wasn't sure, but what really worried me about crypto, Max, wasn't the fact that crypto was in it. It was the fact that at first they had, and maybe it's like he's going to give some vocalizations, but they announced a voice actor for crypto, and that scared me.
What is it, Sean Gunn again? No,
yeah, I don't know who it was, but I remember seeing an article about it, that there was a voice actor attached to it.
I didn't know that.
That worried me, because I did not want to see a talking crypto in the Superman movie. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, Rocket, it worked out, okay, but you know what I mean? Like, I felt like it was too on the nose and wouldn't be good for Superman, especially, bringing this back. So maybe he's just doing some vocalizations or barking or something, I don't know, right? But when Gunn came out and said that no, crypto would not talk, I went, okay. And then to show crypto, I mean, come on, how can you look at that scene between Superman and crypto and not feel something?
I tried, but I do feel something. Yes. I was so against it. I was like, no, don't do James Gunn. Don't do a James Gunn and bring in another animal, because everyone says he's got all kinds of agendas. I'm like, his agendas is bring in as many animals to these universes as possible. Look at Guardians of the Galaxy, and then at the end he's like, it was really Rocket's story. Like, he loves these animals in these universes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to see crypto, but then I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's good.
Look, as long as in Supergirl they don't bring in the super horse and Streaky the super cat and the monkey. I've got an action figure of the monkey up here, right? I mean, Beppo the monkey, the super monkey. That was a serious thing, dude. So I'm a little concerned. But as long as they leave it at crypto, we're good.
The super horse,
dude. There was.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there was all like the.
Doesn't Lex have a something or something too?
He probably does, but it's probably just a jealous old Kajiti thing. It's probably like a Siamese cat that has no hair. It's mad at crypto because crypto caused it to lose all of its hair. That's the original reason why Lex Luthor was pissed off at Superman, was because an episode
No, I didn't know that.
A thing of Superboy showed that, like, there was a fire, like a chemical fire in Lex's laboratory there in Smallville, and Superboy comes flying in. Instead of Superboy just getting him out of there, he blows the chemicals away, but unfortunately it blows all over Lex, and it causes him to lose his red hair. And he swears that he will get his revenge on Superboy, which turns into Superman later.
Is this true?
Yes.
Supergirl was dating Comet the Super Horse for real? Never forget. Oh my God, that's very problematic.
Yeah, I think that's I see what Joe's doing there. if I
think-
remember the story right, there was something though that like she became a super horse or something like that. Or look, those 50s and 60s Superman stories, go back and read them. They are weird. Some of them. I mean, seriously, some of them. Like, yeah, it's weird. Like Superman's always like, was it the horse turned human? Yeah, I knew it was some weird thing like that.
So when everyone's like comic accurate, we don't always need that.
No, we probably don't need the naked guy, after he turns from the horse, named Streaky.
No, but I love it when shows do like what Crazy Joe was saying, how in Superman and Lois there was a character named Chrissy Beppo to nod to the monkey character from the comics. I love when shows do that, when it's not a straight up this character we're putting in the show. It's more of a nod to the idea of that character, that influence, and they kind of drop those Easter eggs,
Mm-hmm. Okay, Joe. No, please. I'm gonna have to put you in a timeout with that hashtag, please.
Well, it's true. I mean, look at some of the crazy stuff, right? That like came out in the 50s and 60s. Senior Nerd is right. That's exactly what Pink Kryptonite does. But that's
really.
But that was not in. But that was not in the 50s or 60s. That was in the early 2000s.
Oh, really? I didn't know about that. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very controversial storyline because it's Pink Kryptonite and it makes him very flamboyant and very and
okay.
And you think about that, that's been in the last 20 some years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting time in Superman comics.
What I do know, I don't want to keep you guys too long, so we're going to probably start going over some viewer questions, and then if me or Rhea has any other current topics, or if you guys want to share anything, also let us know.
Draga's right about that, by the way. That's not a typical Draga comment. I'm giving him a hard time about Superman and Big Barda. That's an actual storyline in the comic.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I don't need to read comics. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you all my comic friends.
To do it.
What?
Yes.
Forced. Okay, moving on.
I mean, if you didn't want to read comics before, you especially do now, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we got some from figure drawing, and then we'll talk about. Well, at the very least, you could check out the tomorrow. You'll probably be streaming on your channel with your Sunday service, and then the upcoming collab with me and Rhea visiting, probably for Tape Hunters. We might see a movie. We might do karaoke. We'll see what happens. There might be some tapes involved, cassette tapes, VHS tapes. So that's coming up next month. What's this here?
That's the picture I was finally trying to find. It's me in the cat suit.
He still has that in the closet. I assume
they didn't give me the cat suit.
Oh,
no.
No. We'll have to work on that.
Well, because it's an actual production that actually originated in San Francisco. Now, yeah, it actually originated in San Francisco. Darkroom Productions, the company that we've been doing this stuff with, they originated in San Francisco. Jim and Aaron were there and did theater there, and so this was actually written. The Lovesick one was written by one of their friends who was part of that group out there. She actually flew from California. Her and her husband flew to come and see our production of Lovesick. So that was cool. So the original writer was there from California, and they really, really enjoyed my performance as Lucky the Cat. So
that's
pretty
great.
Cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, but the cat suit like goes along with the production. So
we had to ship it back to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Well, Shayna, back to your perfect day question. If you came home after a hard day's work and Enosh is waiting for you, would you rather have Enosh the cat or Kirk Enosh?
Oh, definitely Kirk.
Oh, okay. I got a lot into that. I got a lot out of that answer.
Okay. Well, there's less. Never mind. The cat suit has a zipper in the back.
Okay.
And I will just tell you this. That cat suit is extremely hot.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and not in a sexy way.
Yeah, that had to be uncomfortable.
All right. So, Figure Drawing has a question for Enosh. And a general note: how often are you two personalities that actually not like they are online? If you want to answer, I've met a few. I don't want to go before you, but I've said most YouTube personalities that I've met in real life have been pretty genuine. I've been shocked. Like people have these, oh, the guy's a jerk in real life, but I've had good luck.
Yeah.
So far.
I don't think to answer that question, I don't think that the answer to that question is necessarily that they're different people. Because I agree with you, Max. A lot of the people that I've met or, been able to be around for a while, or even talk to behind the scenes, yeah, for the most part, they seem like for the most part, I will say people seem that they are who they are. But there are definitely a couple of people that I will say that I've gotten to know over the years that you can tell that like there's an agenda there, right? They are motivated by success, and success to them means being at the top of the YouTube game or whatever, and they think that everybody else that's their motivation as well. Everybody's motivation, even if they're streaming all the time and they're having a good time doing it and they're being successful at it, doesn't mean that their motivation is to be a celebrity or to be a YouTuber or to be any of those things. Sometimes you just do what you're doing because it's fun. Mm-hmm. And, I think that was a weird thing. It was like, I saw the sides of a couple of people over the last few years that really surprised me. There's one person in particular that actually just disappoints me more than anything. Because I don't feel that person has to be that way, but they just are. So yeah, I don't know. For the most part, I will say the people that you see me around, the people that you see, and I would just say pay attention to that, because the people that you see that I reach out to, even when there's squabbles. I mean, Max, how many times have you been in squabbles with people that I know, right?
Yeah.
And like you've told me,
we've been in squabbles a little bit,
right.
but we always call each other and
right.
figure out. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? But I mean, like, how many times have we had a conversation like, and I'm talking about somebody and you go, yeah, I'm not really talking to them right now or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, not anymore, but yes.
But you know what I mean? But I'm just saying we've had those kind of, things in the past, right? Where people act weird and kind of stuff sometimes, whatever. But I've always just been kind of like, look, let's find more positive.
Well, I've always, what I've learned on YouTube, what I've learned over the years is, things online, they talk about the keyboard warriors. I'm like, imagine meeting people in real life. And then is this stuff really worth it? Like we in movie talk, we have people still get really upset about other people's opinions. Oh. But I'm like, okay, I don't like his opinion. It's not going to ruin my day. I'd still have a beer with him. I'd still go out and, have some fun. So I really try to take that aspect, and I've changed my content and the way I do things too. And part of that was meeting Bruce, Rhea, Crazy Joe in real life. And it's like, it's not worth it. That's what the big benefit of YouTube is not necessarily success. I think it's always people. Right. Like when you meet people after you've been hanging out online and talking about nerd stuff, like these are the closest friends I've ever had. And it's like, you've spent so much time talking about this stuff. Don't take it to a point where it goes into real life or like, at least, have some fun with the bait, but then put it aside and meeting people in real life has changed my whole outlook on being on YouTube. It's the best part of it is meeting people. And that's why me and Ray make these plans. We're going to go meet you. We hopefully we'll see Dial. We might see Wonder Meg. We're gonna have a great time, and that's the thing, right? We love the debate stuff. We love having that good time, but at the end of the day, even the people that I think of that like we've had squabbles with over the last few years and stuff, at the end of the day, nobody had any ill will for anybody. Like at least I know I didn't. I went and somebody said this to me not too long ago. Somebody who's watched the channel for pretty much the duration of me doing YouTube, and they said, Enosh, the problem with you sometimes is you take everybody at face value. And I had to think about that for a second, and it really made me think. But they were saying, they're like, Enosh, when somebody presents themselves to you for the first time as being a good person or a nice person, you believe them. And I said, well, I would hope so. Like, like I'm not trying not to, but like they were just telling me, they're like, it's because you want to believe that about people. And Enosh, unfortunately, you end up finding out you're right. But they say a lot of times though, it allows people through that come to find out weren't.
on the up and up, you know? And so, yeah, you know, what can we learn from that? I could probably be a little bit more discerning sometimes, but also as to like even what Rhea was talking about earlier, it's like when I got into YouTube, I'm not sitting here thinking who can strategically help me, right? Who can I get on the channel that's going to help me, you know, do this or that, you know? It's like I wanted to talk to people that I thought were interesting. Like even dude in 2020, 2021 when we were blowing up and having, you know, Justice League members on and everything, like I still laugh about how I got Ray Porter to come on the channel. You know, like Ray and I are friends and I love Ray. Ray's a great guy now. But the reality was like I reached out to Ray and Ray never reached back out to me, right? Like all of our friends had Ray on their channels and everything, and I was trying to get Ray on the channel and stuff. And then it was hilarious because it happened through the Nerd Queens because Ray was on there, and that was when I famously put on the Harley Quinn onesie and came out on that show on the Nerd Queens, like, you know, in a onesie and stuff. And I got his attention, and, you know, we started talking, and then he came.
Yeah, that got a lot of people's attention.
Yeah. You know, me in a onesie. I mean, come on, but you know, but no, it was fun, you know, and like, that was the point, right? Like that was the point. So it's like, even when we had people on, think about when we did the stream where we raised money for AFSP, and like all of you guys came in there with Ray Fisher, you know, like that was such a moment. That was such a culmination of that.
Oh, I saw it early because of you.
Dude, you know, that's what I'm saying. We got to see Justice League early.
Yeah.
Got to be a part of that. You know, there were so many cool things that happened out of that, you know, and look, nothing's perfect. Nothing's, you know, always going to be the right way. And sometimes people are going to have things that, you know, affect them or hurt them or, you know, bother them. But I know that none of us ever felt that way. And we just loved each other, man. We loved hanging out. I remember like we couldn't wait to get on streams together. Literally. And the pass offs between the shows and everything, you know, so yeah, man, you know, like most of the people that we work with are really good people. And I think just pay attention to those that you see us with often. Because I think that speaks volumes to the people. Because when I'm the type of person, if I find some things that like I don't agree with or I think are wrong, you know, I will kind of distance myself from that. So,
all right, we have some more questions here. Okay. Figure Drawing left a couple. Do you guys think Superman will make over $1 billion at the box office? And also, what do you think of the Fantastic Four cast?
I don't know. Tell me what I think.
You have to say Shanny, you have to like, I don't care. I just want to see.
I don't care. I just want to see the movie.
Yes. You go.
That's my line now.
Okay.
There you go.
I think so.
It could. There's a lot of factors that come with this movie. First of all, there's a lot of people who say they're not going to see this movie, but they're going to see this movie. Let's just be honest. Okay. They're going to see this movie if for nothing else than to just make stuff up that the movie's bad. Right. You know what I mean? Like we already know that that's coming. Right. So I don't think necessarily that it makes $1 billion, but I also don't count it out because I'll be honest with you. I mean, I know a lot of us are talking like 750, 800 million. I even see in the chat. And yeah, that gets up there. But then if you think about this James Gunn effect where there's that recognition, you know, like I think it's funny that I saw people complaining that like, you know, that it came out, you know, like from the maker of, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that, like acting like that's a bad thing. It's like that's on every freaking movie. That's on every trailer. So why are we complaining that James Gunn puts that? I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, doesn't matter if you liked it or didn't. It was very, very popular. It made a lot of money. So yeah, it's a positive thing that you would want on your movie, you know, and want to talk about. So I feel like if some normies get in there, as long as it's good. Aquaman made $1 billion. Okay.
There's a lot going on in there. To be fair, James Gunn has a little help with some of these friends in this movie, including Crypto.
Exactly.
The first movie, Crypto.
Well,
what do you think of the Fantastic Four cast too? And then I'll have Rhea read some of these as well.
All right, Fantastic Four. I'll be honest with you. it's not. I want to see Robert Downey Jr. in whatever cameo he's as Doctor Doom in there. But I'll be honest with you, at this point, Fantastic Four is something that Marvel's going to have to just prove to me.
Okay.
As a concept, and right now, all I see is 4 new people in the same role that we've already seen now recast 3 times. Right, and so, I say that as somebody who actually likes the Fantastic Four.
I like the first one. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's short. It's fun. Chris Evans is really funny in it.
Right. I dig it. I even like the second one.
It's all right, except for Galactus fart cloud.
Yeah, the fart cloud thing always bugged me, but I do. I like the second one. There's a special place in my heart for the bootleg that I have of the 1994 movie that was never supposed to see the light of day.
I have that too.
I love that movie. So it's bad, it's horrible, but it's funny. And then the last one that they made, with Michael B. Jordan and stuff.
It started out okay.
Yeah, I saw what they were doing, but it looks like there's too many people involved and too many, decision makers. And so this one, I'll be honest with you, I get it. This was the MCU version. I think there's a lot of quirky stuff with this one that we're going to have to wrap our minds around, maybe. Because it sounds like it's from a different universe than the one we're used to in the MCU, and that's how they're going to, do it. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know about Pedro. I like Pedro Pascal.
Pedro makes everything better. He even made 1984 okay.
I like him. I do. I mean, I really like him. I just don't know if I like him as Reed Richards. I don't know about it yet. You know what I mean? Like and nobody else in the movie really stands out to me yet. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not not looking forward to it, and I'm not looking forward to it. It's just kind of there.
Can you help me with this, Rhea? Because you're friends with William. I'm friends with William too, but what kind of a question is this?
Special guest, this a-hole. Oh, so like.
William is asking if he can be on your show.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. He's saying special guest.
Yeah.
This asshole? Like he's talking about himself.
I've tried to get him on this show, and he keeps dodging me. We'll have to get Rhea on it.
That's stereotypical for that old man. That old fart. He dodges everybody. Talks a big talk. Nah. But you could take it that way, though.
All right.
He's got his hands lifted. Can I be on the show, please? This asshole. He actually kind of wrote that as assholio, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
It reminds me of the what was the song by what's his name? The comedian Dennis Leary.
Okay.
Remember his song "Asshole"? I'm just a regular Joe with a regular job. I'm your average white suburbanite slob. And I'm an asshole.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. That was a funny song. Okay.
All right, Rhea, if you want to get this next one here.
Did Enosh watch Skeleton Crew?
Yes, I did. And I am watching it, and I can't wait for the finale. Finale is going to be awesome. I just want to see how they connect it. I want to see what this is in the Star Wars universe, because for the first time they're doing something. If it wasn't for the people who made the Acolyte would have been fine. They couldn't stand the fact that Headland was making it. So whatever.
I love Acolyte.
I loved Acolyte. Okay, I will not back down from that, because that show was fantastic. And I swear to God, I got so sick of listening to people just gripe and complain about the dumbest things, like scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to find something to gripe about the Acolyte, because the Acolyte was so darn good and so Star Wars. It's literally what everybody's been asking for, but we couldn't get our heads out of our butts long enough to just let the story come out. And that's the problem with these things being TV shows instead of movies, is the fact that now you have 8 episodes of a show and people want all the answers in episode 2, and they gotta stop that crap. And I'm sorry, the Acolyte was some of the best Star Wars that a lot of people don't deserve now, because of the way they treated it. And the fact that we got Darth Plagueis in live freaking action taken away from us because some people were like, "Ooh, lesbian witches." Seriously? Oh, it pisses me off like you don't even know.
Oh,
I am so glad that the Skeleton Crew came along.
Yeah.
And at least it's something that people
you don't
have
hear
not
the
been able-
outcry about it yet.
Right. It's almost like people got ahead of it and was like, yeah, we probably shouldn't say a bunch of negative things about a bunch of kids, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that the acting is good and the story is good, and I think it did put a pause on a lot of negativity because you haven't seen that. You know, I've seen legitimate discussion about the show and about what works and maybe what doesn't work for people, but not this lowest common denominator vitriol. You know, that I mean, you know, there's no way that a show cannot even come out yet. And this is the problem that I had with The Acolyte. The show's not even out yet, and people are just acting like it's evil and horrible. You know, like that's what we got to stop because we're psyching ourselves up for that stuff. But Skeleton Crew, man, I love the pirate angle.
You finished the season? Did you finish?
There's still one more episode.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
I'm not up to date, so I thought it finished.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, there's one episode left, and so so that's what we're waiting for on Tuesday.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, Joe's right. It reminds me of the Goonies. It's got that '80s feel to it. Now, has anybody do either you, Rhea, or you, Max, remember Captain EO?
Yes.
Okay. Have you got? Okay, so Rhea, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So, have you
the
guys
greatest
seen?
short film ever made.
Have you guys seen the stuff that's like the it's like this
It's a fan theory.
yeah, these fan theories and stuff like that about how like you could totally take the kids and the people from Captain EO and like because there's weird little like Easter eggs and like winks to Captain EO in there, and it's almost like it's a Captain EO or
I like
origin story or something.
There's there's even a holiday special Easter eggs and stuff. That was cool.
But that kid, like you could totally see him looking as a young Michael Jackson, right?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking
and like
about
growing up to be what's that?
I don't know about that part yet. I just know about the creatures, and
Oh yeah, but the thing is, they actually show one of the creatures that's in Captain EO.
Yeah.
Right. That was in the short film, so that's kind of weird. But yeah, it's just it's cool. Can I tell you, by the way, when I went to Star Tours a couple years ago for the first time in my life, I cried.
Oh.
I did. I never got to see Captain EO, but I remember being a kid, and the two things that I remember being a kid and wanting to go to Disney for was to go see that Captain EO thing and to go on Star Tours. And when I finally got to go on Star Tours, I cried.
Wow.
Grown man. Yeah,
that's cool.
It's good stuff. All right.
We'll get you back to Star Tours. Okay, so I'll ask this one. Is Shayna spelled? I don't think you spelled it right. Figure, but a fan of Annie Dillard, the writer. Do you know
I have
Annie?
no idea who that is. I'm so
Me either. Thanks. That's all right. Figure drawing sometimes puts that out there. So I'll ask
Who is your
this.
favorite writer?
My favorite author?
Yeah.
Oh heavens.
I don't know an answer to that. That's like
Is there like a book series though that like?
there is a series I keep coming back to. There's two I come back to. Jean Auel writes a series of caveman books. Land of the or Clan of the Cave of something, the bear. Anyways, Clan of the Cave Bear.
Clan of the Cave Bear. Okay.
And that is it's a series I've read probably 4 or 5 times. Just excellent storytelling. Visual story writing in her books. And then there's a series of books that the author's name is going to escape me, but the series it's a twisted Alice in Wonderland story where
Alice McGee or something.
It's called
American McGee.
It's called Splintered.
Oh, Splintered. I haven't heard of that one.
Splintered, and there's 4 or 5 books, and it's Alice's granddaughter.
Oh, cool.
Gets drawn back to Wonderland, and she has to fix all the things that went wrong when Alice was there, because the story of Alice in Wonderland is actually Alice is trying trying to beat the Red Queen, she's playing this larger game that they allude to in Alice in Wonderland. But then this story goes deeper in that Alice's granddaughter is actually a descendant of the Red Queen. There was a whole switch up doppelganger thing that happens, and it's just really
My wife would love that.
I have read that series probably 7 times.
You have to message me about that, so I remember to get that for my wife because she loves Alice.
Who the author is, but
Splintered.
Yeah, Splintered is the name of the book. It's an excellent story.
Cool. That sounds awesome. Sticks Boy is a Doctor Who fan. Any Doctor Who fans here?
I have never seen Doctor Who. That is a series I would like to watch all of them, all of the Doctor Who's. But that would take me.
You can't. So you're like Enosh said at the beginning of this. Have you met? You're very chronological. So you want to go through the first Doctors. You're not going to just do what most people do when they get new to Doctor Who. They go with the Christopher Eccleston, the newer Doctor. Right. And David Tennant, you want to go start from the beginning. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're on your own, Shane. I'm not doing that.
Way too much. That's why I've never gotten into Doctor Who. Honestly, is because I've never known where to get in.
No, people always say start with Christopher Eccleston because he was there for the reboot Doctor Who in the 90s or early 2000s. The problem
is all I see him is Destro in that first G.I. Joe movie, and it just it's kind of a waste. They wasted him.
Sidebar: A.G. Howard is the author of that.
Okay.
Alice in Wonderland story.
That sounds good. Let me see. There's just RJ's just making an accusation.
You're being paid only saying this because you're being paid by WB to say that. That is such a okay. I know that he's joking. But it's funny too because like I've seen a lot of this this idea being thrown around, and we remember back in the days like, oh, they're paying them. Like nobody's getting paid. There are some people, but those are
barely paid from YouTube.
Right. They're getting paid from YouTube, right?
No, barely getting paid from YouTube. We don't get paid from anybody.
Well, I mean, I will say this, right? Like, if you see the YouTubers show up like on the set with the people, they're probably getting something, but not necessarily that. No, there ain't no YouTubers out here with 5,000-6,000 YouTube subscribers and somewhere Disney's like, ooh, get that cool Poindexter Lounge cash.
Crazy Joe's just giving you props. After William Shatner, Chris Pine, and Paul Wesley, I think Enosh was the 4th best Cat Kirk I've seen. I would like a mashup. Yes, can you do Cat Kirk?
Ooh. Oh, that would be fun.
That would be cool. The cat suit with my shirt on.
Captain Tiberius Lucky.
I like it.
Ray, if you can handle this one.
Is Enosh gonna watch the Puppy Bowl?
Now, is that the Puppy Bowl or is that the Superman movie that?
No, it's for
it's
for both because there's supposed to be Superman trailer or something Superman with the Puppy Bowl. There's an exclusive at the Puppy Bowl.
See, that makes sense. Yeah,
because it's a downgrade. You had the Super Bowl, and now you have the Puppy Bowl for Corn Sweat. Yes. I'm just joking.
Poor guy. Look, the only thing I will say bad about that is so far is I still hate the costume. The costume is just horrible. It's problematic. It looks like uncomfortable. It looks like it's chafing him. Like I would hate to think that he's not wearing anything underneath that costume because my lord, it just that material looks like it's just doing wreck. He better not get around any kryptonite because my gosh, his nipples would get chafed to death by that material after a while. Mm-hmm. It just, I love the trunks. I don't care. I love the trunks. I love the fact that they put the trunks back on Superman. I don't like the way that the cape connects. I wish it was more, and I don't like the collar because that's all New 52 stuff, and I hate the New 52 stuff. But you know what? I think the Corn Sweat could be a very, very good Superman. We got a curly-haired Superman. How cool is that?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
As a curly-haired dude, I'm just saying, how cool is that we got a curly-haired Superman? Come on now.
I'm not complaining.
I can play Superman now. There we go.
Anchorman. When is 2 Cents on Nonsense coming back?
So Anchorman, there have been a couple of times in my YouTube career where we have come up with an idea that, man, it just hit. 2 Cents was one of those things. There's a lot of people who do commentary and stuff, you know, and I mean, really didn't think I was doing anything different. But 2 Cents did become something on its own and became special to a lot of people. And it's amazing. A lot of people found us through 2 Cents on Nonsense, and even people who like harassed me later.
Oh,
Even referenced 2 Cents as a positive thing. And so, Anchorman, I know Anchorman's always asking me about 2 Cents on Nonsense. I could do it tomorrow. I could literally roll the show back out tomorrow. It was my idea. It was my idea to do it, and I'm the one who asked Johnny to do it. I just really like doing it with Johnny.
yeah.
You know, like Johnny's just my buddy. He's not another YouTuber. He's not, you know, I think that was part of what made that good, which kind of goes back to what Ray was saying earlier. It's like, I was just like, hey, my buddy Johnny, you want to do this show with me? You know what I mean? Like he doesn't do a show. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, let's do this show. And we started doing 2 Cents on Nonsense. And then the way people showed up, dude, we literally got Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers watching that show and demanding to come on that night.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to me. At the height of all that stuff that like, you know, so yeah, I love 2 Cents on Nonsense. I've talked with Johnny. Johnny would like to do it. I would like to do it. You know, it's not like it's a
At least the
bad thing.
reunion show. At least the
Right.
reunion show.
We've talked about doing that, about bringing back a show every once in a while and doing a reunion show here and there. And also we wanted to get off on different topics because we talked about Mike Zero, you know, and Doomcock constantly. And so, you know, we wanted to kind of, you know, branch out. Yeah. Crazy Joe, is Doomcock irrelevant now? That's good to know. But yeah, you know, I will say never because it's definitely something that I still talk to Johnny about. Johnny's still interested in doing it. And you know what? And it's a thing of like, to Johnny, if I did get somebody else to do it, maybe it would have to be like a revolving door of people who come on and do the show with me or something, you know, and then Johnny is still there or something. I don't know. But yeah, we'll get back to the 2 Cents at some point because it was just too much fun not to do again.
Ryan Hartwell says, any advice on balancing online versus real life?
Yeah. First of all, and you may be able to appreciate this, Ryan. All these people have had all kinds of thoughts and rumors and everything about my personal life, and I don't owe anybody any explanations or anything. But my divorce had nothing to do with my YouTube channel. I don't know when that nonsense started. Talk about 2 Cents on Nonsense. The thing is I did step back from my YouTube channel when those things presented themselves because I needed to take inventory of my own life and I needed to see where things were going. It's important to balance.
It's a hard thing to get right. For sure.
It is a very hard thing to get right. One of the things that I always did when we started off the YouTube channel, we didn't start off to try to be a YouTube channel. We were making fun videos as a family. We were talking about fun things, and it grew from there, right? But as like my youngest son, Logan, started to not want to be on, you know, shows anymore or like on the videos that we did, you know, sometimes he wouldn't want to be in a review. I never made him be in a review. You know, a couple of times it was like, oh, come on, you know, Logan, you know, let's, you know, we're all, you know, making the videos. Oh, I really want to right now. You know, you have those conversations. But like when he shared with me, he's like, I just don't really feel like doing it anymore. I was like, okay. You know what I mean? It was never a thing of like, of that with our family, of forcing anybody to do anything. And that's why, like, actually as the channel grew, it became more about me being on the channel and people would make appearances, you know? Yeah. But you have to balance that. You have to balance that off. Like, and I think the important thing is to always remember what it is that's really important to you. Okay. It's funny, man. I'm not motivated by a lot of the things other people are motivated by. Like even my job right now, me and my boss talk about this all the time because he gets it. He's like me. I'm not motivated by money. I don't need to be rich. I don't need to be swimming Scrooge McDuck in it, around here, like I I just want I've always just wanted to take care of my family. I've always just wanted to be able to have fun and enjoy life. Even when I was a musician, when I got back from touring and everything in my 20s and stuff, and I went off on all these, things, I came back and I realized I didn't want to do that anymore because I missed being with the people at home. I came back with all these cool stories and fun things that I did, but the people that I loved weren't with me. I was with my buddies and it was fun. But there comes a time where you have to take care of life too, and so it is. It's a
I'm
balance.
proud of you for stepping back and taking time. I'm proud of you. That's a hard thing to do, and you had a big presence there to do that. So I'm really glad you're where you're at now. I'm looking forward to the future. Let me see here. There was I messed it up. Hold on, let me get to the starred comments here. Ray, if you want to handle that one from our pal Cal.
What's your axe of choice? I play an Ibanez Geo.
It's an Ibanez, but yeah, no, I know exactly
Sorry.
what he's saying. No, it's funny. So
Grab the cord here.
this is one of my Ibanezes.
There you go.
Yeah, you can see right there. There, Ibanez. So this was my first decent guitar that I got years ago. This was my main axe for a long time. You see the picture of me?
Yeah.
That was from my band Antioch, from our album cover. A guy, we played at the University of Wisconsin. We pulled in at like 2 a.m. at this guy's house, and he had taken all of our promo stuff that we had sent for the show, and his band was opening up for us. And so he instead of using our promo pictures and all the stuff that we sent, he just drew us.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what he drew of me. And so I got that. It was on the back of my car for the longest time, except for I kind of felt that I kind of looked like Colonel Sanders there with sunglasses on. Just the white version. And one time at Kinko's, because I worked at Kinko's, and when we first started doing sign and banner stuff, we needed things to be able to show the different colors of vinyl, that we could do on posters and banners and stuff like that. And so the girl who worked at our sign and banner shop, she literally made me in every color and put me under glass on the main counter at Kinko's. So if you came in to order like signs and graphics and stuff like that, you would see that right there. So this I just happen to have here. This, you mentioned an Ibanez. So that's that. I also have an Ibanez acoustic guitar that I've had forever. I've had that forever, and it's funny because I have a Taylor acoustic right there, but I use that Ibanez acoustic all the time. Now the difference is, for those of you who don't know, that Ibanez I spent $250 for back in 2002. This guitar, a bunch of people came together and told me that I needed a really, really super nice guitar, and people came together and they blessed me with money, and they blessed me with this thing, and it's a $4,000 guitar.
Whoa. Yeah, nice.
Okay? But it's funny because you find the stuff that you like, right? It's all about sound and feel and stuff like that. So I actually end up using the Ibanez one more. But my guitar of choice is, I have a Hagstrom Suede. Hagstrom is a Swedish company, and I didn't even know anything about Hagstrom until a few years ago when I first discovered that Suede guitar hanging up, and it was amazing because there was 2 of them in my local music store. And the amp that I had at the time was literally sitting right underneath of it. So I could literally take that guitar and plug it into an amp that would sound like mine. And I loved it. And ended up trading in some stuff, got that guitar. And now I have 2 Hagstroms. I have a semi-hollow body Hagstrom. I have that Suede. I have a Jackson Dinky that I really, really love. That was my main axe for a while. And I'm trying to think of what else I've got. I got a few guitars, but that Hagstrom Suede though has become my favorite for the last probably 10 years or so, 10, 12 years.
Cool. Thanks for the questions, everyone. I will give everyone, because I'm trying to be cognizant of timing, but everyone's been wanting, this is really requested so you come back to YouTube in some form. So I promise you we're going to try to get Enosh more later. So we'll probably do a few more questions and start wrapping it up. If you have a really good question, maybe we could take 1 or 2 more after the ones that are saved already. And then anything that Enosh and Shannon would like to say, or Ray would like to say, at the end. So let me bring this up here. I'll ask this one. Hey, thanks, Chubby Teddy. Thanks for this question. Hey, can you make this a short answer? Hey, Enosh, what could bring the DC fans together? What could bring them together? Superman could.
What could let's see, what could bring the DC fans together?
You know, all the different groups because there's
Yeah.
been so many versions of movie DC.
Yeah, no, I get the question. I think the problem is that it's the same problem, guys, unfortunately, that's been there ever since the beginning, right? And that's just the fact that nobody knows what they want from some of these characters anymore. Honestly, these characters, even more so than the Marvel characters, we've seen so many versions of these characters, and these characters were so popular in the zeitgeist, you know, through the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and you know, and even in the 90s and 2000s with the Justice League cartoon and everything. You know what I mean? So like, these are characters that have been out there, so everybody has a favorite, and I get that. The only thing that I think could actually save, you know, if we're saying that it's, you know, needing to be saved, the only thing that really save is us respecting each other, and stop acting like,
Don't take it too personally. It's just
Bunch of
opinions.
right. It's literally comic book characters, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is like, I get the Snyder fans who are like, you know, this was taken away from us, blah blah blah, but it wasn't. We got to stop acting like it's a personal thing with us.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder himself has moved on. And I know that people don't want to hear that, and I know that people don't want to act like it's real, because they want literally the man to come out, sit on a stool, and just have a heart-to-heart, face-to-face with the camera, and just tell everybody, I'm telling you 100% it's over.
That's not
You
fair to
all-
make him do that either.
No, it's
Yeah.
not fair. It's not right. The guy is trying to bow out gracefully and say, look, we tried, we did what we could do, we made the movies that we made, and now we're moving on. And even he's willing to go back to Warner Brothers and make new content for them. of
He
different
said he
things.
wants to make Batman.
Right. I mean, okay, but I mean he's doing
Yeah.
the 300 thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's actual stuff that's happening, and what's weird is that you see people who have supported. They say that they've supported Zach. Look what people have done to David Ayer. I mean,
Yeah.
that guy, like I'm sorry, but like, the way that people have acted to him just because he supported the Superman movie. Like, I've seen some really horrible things said about him just because, like, oh, we've supported you, David, and everything, and wanting your Suicide Squad. That's great, but it's not a trade-off. It's not like, oh, we supported you, so now if you don't do what we want to do, we're going to treat you like crap.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
always goes back to the thing. These are real people, in real life. How would you talk to them if you met them in real life?
exactly.
That's what- yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Let me see.
Well,
Good
I was
answer.
gonna-
Good answer.
While you're doing that, I will just show you the guitar, because in that picture that we took, that's my main guitar right there.
Nice.
Yeah, that's that Hagstrom. Kind of a smaller body, a couple of humbucker pickups in it.
You're in the groove in that picture. You're grooving.
Oh
I
yeah,
can tell.
dude. It's got a toggle switch there to toggle to, like, you can. For those of you, and I see that there are guitar players in the chat. So this thing, man, can get everything from a thin, like, Strat sound up at the neck pickup, because there's two humbuckers on it, but they're all split. So it's got a toggle switch that can literally toggle through all of them. So you get all these weird, like, sound shapes and stuff through that. So you can go from something really thin to the fact that my band nicknamed the guitar the Beef, because it just has this beefy, just cut through sound to it, and but yet it can have that thinner kind of Strat or Telly kind of sound too. So for those of you who are guitar players, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's a great guitar. I love that guitar.
Nice. If you want to handle this next question, I don't know what CJ is talking about here.
My question is, are you ready for Jurassic Fever?
Okay.
Okay. Oh wow. Don't let no censorship, right? Shayna, tell CJ how it is. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm extremely excited.
Oh,
for
okay.
Whatever is coming
You have
in the
Jurassic Fever then.
Universe. I loved the 3 originals.
Yes.
I loved the 3 worlds, Jurassic World movies.
Okay, you're on
that
your
they
own
made.
there.
Did you love the
But
3
again-
Amigos?
And I'm sorry, my kids are crazy for the animated stuff. I would love to see them weave Camp Cretaceous into a live action storyline. I would just love to see that we would all love to see that in live action. I don't know if they'll do it. Honestly, I haven't heard a lot or read a lot about where they're going with this movie, but I am excited to see where they go because the last couple movies left us in a world where dinosaurs are everywhere. They are just absolutely everywhere and a part of daily life now. And I'm really hoping that they go that direction. So that's all I have to say about that.
Enosh, do you have Jurassic fever?
No, I'm Jurassic burned out is what I am. Here's the thing. I actually liked the Jurassic World reboot. First of all, when I first saw the Jurassic World movie, Jurassic Park, I should say. When I saw Jurassic Park, it was one of the most amazing experiences in my life. I walked out of that movie with my friend Rusty at like 16 years old going, this is something completely different. Like, this is real, right? And then I saw part 2, and I didn't really like Jurassic World. Like, it wasn't my thing. And then the third one was really boring to me and was just like, eh. And then they rebooted it, and I went, or not rebooted it, but you guys know what I mean, right? When they did that, I loved the first one with Chris Pratt and what's her name?
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard, who needs to direct a Star Wars movie like yesterday. But they were great in that first movie, and I liked the second one. But there's no end to Jurassic Park or Jurassic World.
No,
You either kill all the freaking dinosaurs or they take over the freaking planet.
But that's where I like how they're that's basically the
How many
direction
movies
they're
is it going to
going,
take us
though,
to do that?
Is there is no end to it because now we've opened this Pandora's box of dinosaurs that are, yes, they're going to take over the world and they're going to eat all the men, and then women are going to rule, just like they said in Jurassic Park, the first movie. You have no idea what it No, but seriously, I don't know if anybody got that. I thought it was funny. Anyways.
I think it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women will rule the world. That's where this new movie is going.
That's great. That'd be great.
That would be an amazing callback.
Dr. Sadler.
Oh, okay.
She had it right from the very beginning. Men
that's
created-
right.
Yes, she tells men created dinosaurs. Dinosaurs eat man. Women inherit the earth.
Yes. That
So
would be
that's
that
where
would be
this movie
perfect.
needs to
That
go.
I would act. That would actually get me to see it.
Senior nerd gets you, Shayna. Senior nerd's there with you.
See, I want a
Thank
literal
you.
Jurassic fever to take place with dinosaurs. There's a new fever taking out humans and then also dinosaurs. That's what I want. I want it really be apocalyptic. Okay, so Droga asked if anyone will go to Australia. No, Droga, you're on your own. No, I'm just kidding.
I'd go to Australia.
That would be so fun. We
Draga,
should go.
Draga, if you want to send me a ticket, I will come to Australia. I got no problem going to Australia.
Ray, if you want to handle this one.
Out of curiosity, what are some of your favorite comedies?
Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Oh God, Shane,
When
I
Nature
liked you
Calls,
up until
and When
now.
Nature Calls.
I liked you up
sorry.
until now.
It was the
Oh
when
my
Nature,
God.
Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls was the first time I ever heard my dad laugh out loud. It was
Okay.
the first time I experienced my dad almost die
Oh, that's
laughing.
nice.
And that, will always be my favorite comedy
Oh,
ever.
that's a great memory. Too bad it's with that movie, but that's a great memory. No, I'm just kidding.
Some things I have to think about. That one I didn't have to think about at all.
Man. Like, are we talking movies or shows or?
Well,
He just says he didn't
comedies.
specify, George.
George,
It's just comedies. It could be a movie or a show or movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, dang, there's I like stupid comedies. Like I like a lot of stuff that is that other people would think is probably like low IQ, like like, but I just think it's funny.
You do like a lot of stupid comedies.
I
like
do,
low
because-
hanging fruit stuff.
Well, I like low hanging fruit stuff. Honestly, you know what? My favorite show is like South Park.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because people think that it's lowest common like denominator. They think that it's that low hanging fruit stuff, and they don't realize like the writing that goes into South Park that actually talks about it, that it's a mirror on society in so many ways, and I think some of the writing on South Park, it cracks me up. It makes me laugh. I like Saturday Night Live. Like
I still watch current Saturday. Yeah,
I do. I've never stopped watching Saturday Night Live. And people, I watched a thing about Saturday Night Live the other day, and they were talking about the fact that like people love to say, oh, it used to be good, but people forget that like even back in the day, like if you ever find old episodes of like full episodes of Saturday Night Live, there weren't these full amazing episodes of Saturday Night Live with any of those casts. There were always dud sketches here and there.
yeah.
There were always times where there were horrible.
Well, that's the thing. Even beyond the internet, it's always like it used to be better. Everything used to be better.
Right. But the George, yeah, I like Clerks. I love Office Space. Office Space is literally one of my favorite movies. What's the one with Luke Wilson? Idiocracy, man. Idiocracy.
I have to rewatch that one because I enjoyed it, but I didn't give it its due when I saw it, and it's hard to actually get on physical media. You have to
Kind
find.
of a little scary to watch, like because it's more real life than it was meant to be.
Yeah,
when it was written. It
You're
really
saying
is.
we are an idiocracy?
Like they
Okay.
thought they were doing stuff so far fetched, it was just so
Yeah.
funny, and then now we're like, what? When was that movie made? 15 years ago. I don't know when it was made, but it's too much reality now. It's just scary.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Shayna this one because she's and thank you RJ for picking a quick question.
Okay.
Pattinson for the DCU or new Batman? Can you do your typical Shayna?
Well,
I don't
I
care.
actually do care about this one.
Oh, you do care about this one.
I do.
But you
care
want
about this one.
Pattinson in the DCU or
No,
a new Batman?
I would like to see a
Sorry,
new Batman.
CJH. New Batman.
I would like to see a new Batman. Pattinson tried.
Oh.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, Robert. We love you. You were amazing as a vampire, but you should probably not be Batman. I don't know. I'm a hardcore Michael Keaton. I love that they brought him back in The Flash. I about died. I liked the Dark Knight series. You know, it was very serious. You know, I have no problem with them rewriting Batman and reinventing Batman with all these different actors. That's fine. But
What did you think of Affleck?
Oh, I like Ben Affleck. He was a good Batman.
Okay.
He did deserve a movie. That he kind of got gypped out of that. But as far as moving forward, you're giving us everything else totally new. Just give us a new Batman. And coming from me, I am a very like staunch supporter of if you can keep them in the storyline, keep them in the storyline as long as you can. Bring back the same actors, let them reprise their roles. But I don't know what the heck DC has done with all of that. Like they've just kind of ruined that for me. Like them being so defiantly against bringing back certain characters and all this baloney about Cavill and Snyder and all of this stuff. It's like, you know what? Okay, fine. Just scrap it and give us a new Batman. Just do it. You already done it. You've already killed us and twisted the knife. Now just throw it away. Just throw it away. Be done with it, and give us a new Batman.
Well, and here's the thing. I have gone on record as saying I am not a fan of the Batman. I dig some of what they do in the movie. I don't really care for Pattinson that much, but
I have watched
Penguin.
I have watched the Batman 4 times, and I still could not tell you how it ends. I have fallen asleep every time. Every time. I
tell you how it ends.
But the Penguin.
Something in the way.
The Penguin was amazing.
But okay.
What?
So,
I'm sorry. Something
so what
in the way.
if the Penguin is amazing in the Batman 2, and then that gets you back on board? You know.
So that I had a moment of that. We did actually after the Penguin finished, we went back and watched the Batman again.
Yeah, we did because the Penguin was so good.
We're like, maybe that's going to redeem the movie.
And figure
for
drawing,
us.
I get what you're saying. Pattinson he's a really good actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in some really good things. That movie is just boring. And he doesn't do anything. And I saw a comedy thing. I saw like a cartoon of him, and that Batman shows up. Pattinson's Batman shows up something, and like another Batman's talking to him and says like, well, do you fight crime? And he's like, no, I don't fight anybody. It's like, what do you mean you don't fight it? He's like, I just kind of show up and like walk around with the cops. He's like, wait a second, you're like right out there with the cops? He's like, yeah, it's like I'm one of them or whatever. It's like, wait a second, they just let you do that? He's like, but like, aren't you like fighting people and getting into fight? It's like, why would I why would I want to physically fight people? Like that would be beneath me. I'm a detective. And he's like, okay, well, do you solve things? Well, no, not really. I kind of figure it out just after it happened. And that is the entire Batman movie.
Boo.
Is him figuring stuff out when it's too late. He doesn't stop anything from happening in that movie whatsoever.
Well, he's learning. It's a young Batman.
Yeah, but it doesn't even show him learning anything.
He couldn't say that with confidence. Though.
He
He's
does,
like, it's
you
a
know.
young
I mean,
Batman.
and at the end, all hell breaks loose. Everybody dies anyways. He doesn't really do anything except for
That's
like
a
help
lesson
that one
learned.
person. He helps that one person up, like getting taken away by a helicopter. Is there something in the way? It's as
I
bad.
love that. I love that.
It's as bad as BVS when it's like, boom.
Oh, I love that
Bum,
too.
bum. I love it too, but still, yeah, it's like sometimes you're watching it and you're just like, yeah, I get it. Bum, 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 bum.
Another reason why
It's a serious moment.
I'm
guys.
okay with the new Batman is because I like a more cartoonish Batman story, like, and that I think that comes back to the Michael Keaton
I
and
think
Jack
in this world, though,
Nicholson
we're
and
gonna
Michelle
get that.
Pfeiffer.
Yeah, I
and
think
it's
you're
very,
definitely gonna get that.
I think we're
very
gonna get
comic.
Trunks on Batman,
I think you're gonna go full trunk verse.
which I'm there for. And can I just say, like, now, have you watched Creature Commandos?
I haven't finished it.
Okay, did you? Okay, Rhea, you saw Creature Commandos. So, like last week, they showed us that little bit of Batman or whatever, but it wasn't. Isn't it weird, Rhea, that everybody's been saying that like that's the first time we've seen Batman, but it's not. We saw Batman at the beginning of the series too, strung up on a pole.
That's true.
Yeah, in the nightmare vision from
We don't-
Cersei.
We don't know if it's the same one though, do we?
Well, that would
I
be
don't know.
a stretch, though.
I don't know.
Like, why would they show the Trinity and then show
Yeah.
another Batman up in the rafters scaring everybody? You know, that doesn't really make sense. So it's got to be the same Batman. What I'm just saying is like that big beefy Batman, like that was up in the rafters like that. I was like, heck yeah, because I love that about Ben Affleck, that he was that beefy, like you believe this dude was like gonna kick your butt. I'm sorry, I am not worried about Pattinson at all. If I encountered Pattinson, I would not be worried that he could kick my butt. Ben Affleck, when he was lifting those tires and flipping all that stuff and cutting kryptonite down in the Batcave, I would be scared of that man if I encountered him, especially shirtless. Okay, what I want to see, and I didn't think that I wanted this at first, but what's his name? Who played Hawk on Titans, and he plays Reacher right now.
Alan Richardson.
Alan
Richardson.
Richardson. I did not want him at first. I gotta say, man, now it's like almost like I want him with like everything. I want him to be Batman.
All right. Well, we're having a great time here. We are going to be wrapping up, so I'm going to do these quick questions because you really got to go support Enosh in the lounge and say, we want you back, Enosh, and look out for our collab videos coming in February. But if you want to share this one, Rhea, real quick, and I'll do the one right after, and we'll have final thoughts here.
What is your favorite guitarist of all time?
So that is like a three-way tie. Eddie Van Halen. Love Eddie Van Halen. And I love him for more than just his guitar playing. Eddie Van Halen's guitar playing is freaking amazing, but he was also a great songwriter. And when I started playing guitar, I didn't start playing guitar to become this great lead guitar player. I started because I wanted to write songs. And Van Halen, one of the things about Van Halen, no matter what version of Van Halen you like, they have great songs. Great vocals. It's not everybody wants to talk about Eddie because Eddie was an amazing virtuoso. He was guitar god and legend, right, when they came out. But that was a band effort. And like even people who talk about Michael Anthony, the bass player, that he played too simple or whatever. What else are you going to play? You got literally the greatest guitar player of all time almost playing over you, and you got this fantastic drummer. You got to hold it down. You got to hold the rhythm down. You can't be up here too, because then the music would just be all over the place. And they were writing songs that people could sing. They weren't trying to be some progressive band. They weren't trying to be, this super technical band. They just were what they were. They were a fun rock band with an amazing, amazing guitar player. So that's that, first of all. Second of all, I mentioned earlier my favorite band growing up was Petra. Bob Hartman started that band. I think he's a really underappreciated guitar player. He's a really great guitar player, great songwriter too. Like honestly, he was the main songwriter for that band and like inspired me. So yeah, that dude. And then there's a guy that I just think is honestly just a great guitar player. His name's Tony Palacios. He played in a band called Guardian, and he has a guitar album called Epic Tales of Whoa, and it's a really great album. And yeah, and then probably if I just had to say down to somebody I know,
You have an honorable mention. Okay.
my friend Matt Gauthier, probably the greatest guitar player I've ever played with, and yeah. He's
All right,
a great
cool.
guy.
We have to do a cut. We have to be like at the bar. We have to cut you viewers off. No more questions. RJ, I will do that last one, but you snuck that in there, RJ. Okay, so let me see. I'll read this one, and then Ray, you get the last one. RJ's last, of course. He had to sneak another one in there. Jimmy Betalitsky, Enosh thoughts on Leto being cast as Skeletor, because we know you like He-Man.
Oh yes, so
I'm really excited to see
Me
his
too.
interpretation of Skeletor.
Yeah. And Tron.
yeah, I like Jared Leto. I don't understand all this Jared Leto hate. Like
I think it's going to be amazing.
Wow. That was great, Shada.
I mean, look what she's wearing right now. She's wearing, the Suicide Squad Harley thing. I love him in Suicide Squad. I am so looking forward to seeing him in Tron. Morbius, I don't blame him for.
Morbius was fun. Morbius, I mean, he
Until it
came,
wasn't.
he acted in that. He came to
He did.
I mean, not just acted. He gave it his all for that role.
Right. No,
I
I
think
agree.
so.
Daniel Martin, I will agree. Alan Rickson as He-Man, he's just
That
a
would
little
be
too
nice.
old. He's just a little too old. If he was a little bit younger, they could get more years out of him. But we'll see with this new guy that they got. I don't know what he's going to look like. But Jared Leto as Skeletor, yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, especially. I mean, like we'll see what he looks like. I mean, it'll be cool to see if they go with like some digital and some prosthetic. I mean, how do you do Skeletor in live action in 2025? Give me Jared Leto. I'm
All right, Ray, you do the. I had to cut them off first. You do the final one with RJ. He had to sneak it in there.
What do you think about Jason Momoa as Lobo in Supergirl?
He look just as much as Ryan Reynolds is like born to play Deadpool.
Yeah.
I feel like Jason Momoa is born to play Lobo. For those who know Lobo, there's a lot of people I'm surprised don't know who Lobo is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it. You'd have to be a comic book reader, to get that. He's definitely an upgrade from what they put in the Krypton show. The guy that they had playing Lobo.
I actually heard that was good. I don't know. I didn't see it.
He was a good actor, but the physicality was not there.
Okay.
Lobo should be this muscular
Intimidating,
dude,
yeah.
right? He's a bounty hunter. He's a galactic bounty hunter who can like go toe to toe with Superman. Skinny little white guy just didn't do it. You know what I mean? And so Jason Momoa, I think looks the part. I think he looks great. He'll definitely do. He's got the voice already. He sounds like Lobo, for goodness sake, without even.
Rhea said he doesn't have to act.
No.
He just is.
Rhea knows.
He's like he
I
doesn't.
mean, what do you think, Rhea?
He just needs to show up.
Yeah, I'm kind of Momoa'd out. I don't know. Yeah,
Oh!
he's kind of just below Rock and Jack Black
Oh.
and Kevin the comedian and just folks that I constantly see.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that, Rhea.
Kevin Hart, sorry.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There are some of those people that we do seem to have been flooded with, and Jason Momoa is definitely one of those. I just think like in that role, if you're gonna have Lobo in that Supergirl movie, it is a good it's good casting with who we have around now. I will say this though, It'll be interesting to see if it confuses anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the DC universe, and
Well, he's got to have the makeup on.
yeah,
That's
but
gonna be
still, yet, like, are people gonna?
I think that makes a big difference.
It probably does, but is he gonna look that much different? Is he gonna look like zombie Aquaman?
Zombie Aquaman.
I coined it right here, right now. Hashtag zombie Aquaman.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what he looks like, is zombie Aquaman.
Bizarro Aquaman or something, because they know Bizarro Super. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah,
Oh, Anthony, bad take. Well, that's the worst take I've seen in the chat. Oh my God. Jason's the only draw of the movie? No.
Oh, come on. Beltray. Come on.
I think they should time it with season 3 of House of the Dragon, and if they do any more Millie hallucinations or flashbacks, then that would coincide with a good, oh hey, like, here's this awesome young actress in an amazing, first time movie role.
I like her too because she got very popular out of her performance that show, and she hasn't popped in a lot of places. So this is really a big role for her. And in Supergirl, I said I'm more excited for Supergirl and Superman because we've had so many great Superman movies, but really not a lot of great Supergirl movies. There was just the one, and we had her in Flash, but it wasn't like a Supergirl movie. So
yeah.
I guess we're gonna see Crypto as well, I think, in the Supergirl movie. So it makes sense they're kind of gonna lean in hard on that doggy.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rhea. They're gonna lean hard on Crypto. Like, once they discovered that Crypto was a thing, and it is now, like, yeah, they're gonna do that. With Supergirl, I think it's the one. I think the important thing for Supergirl is that it comes across more like the first Wonder Woman movie did, as far as her as a person, and less coming off as Captain Marvel. You know what I mean? Like, one of the problems that I had with the Supergirl TV show is, and everybody knows this about me, right? I mean, how many episodes, we were talking earlier about 2 Cents on Nonsense. How many episodes of 2 Cents on Nonsense have I done where I've literally gotten pissed off at people and said, this is not woke. This is not some crazy thing. Like, this is not some bad thing that, somebody's perpetuating. Supergirl honestly started to get to the point where it was just propaganda. And I hate to say that, but it was. And good, bad, indifferent. I'm not saying whose side it should have been or whose side it shouldn't, but I just don't like that stuff. I don't like watching stuff that tries to preach at me and tell me what I should feel about things. One of the things that I love about the Orville, if you watch the Orville does a great job about dealing with, like, even though it's still supposed to be set in the future, it deals with a lot of things in modern day society, but does it in a way that it presents the story, and then it asks the question to the viewer, what do you think? Right? I like stuff like that instead of stuff telling me how I should feel about stuff, because we all know how we feel about things personally, not just politically, but socially and emotionally and within our own relationships and stuff. I don't need a TV show about a superhero telling me how to feel about stuff. And I don't need a movie to do that either. There are times when it works and it's good, but when something becomes too preachy, I don't dig it. And so I think with Supergirl, they're going to have, they need to do something that presents Supergirl as somebody, and I know how this sounds, but Wonder Woman was a strong woman in her movie. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have to be told she was, because she just was. They wrote her well. The second one, maybe not. But that first Wonder Woman movie, and in the stuff that we saw, like in Zack Snyder's Justice League, whatever, and Batman v Superman, that was a strong woman. That was a powerful woman. That's who we need to see. We need to see that. We don't need to put somebody on here that may or may not be and just try to give lip service to it. That's the problem that I have, if that makes any sense, and it probably doesn't, and I probably just dug myself a huge hole by trying to explain all that.
That's all right.
Explain all that, but it's something that I really do feel important, that is important, because at the end of the day, people are going to go see this movie, and if look what backfired with Marvel, with Captain Marvel, is they painted her as this stone hard character, and people have not responded to that. So I don't want to see that same thing with Supergirl. I don't know.
If they write the character right and they present the character right, it doesn't have to be agenda driven. There doesn't have to be an obvious agenda written into the storyline where it's like,
good, bad, or indifferent.
That was kind of cringy. Like, okay, do the lesbian thing, but like, why'd you have to do it like that? Like, why make it weird? Why make it so obviously agenda driven that now the story is completely lost?
Yeah.
No,
well,
nobody knows
on
what the story's about.
That's what they did on Supergirl with the TV show. It's like when they made Supergirl's sister, when they revealed that she was gay, they did it in the weirdest way that made
they were no longer telling a story.
Yeah, it didn't feel like they were telling a story. Now I know there's always going to be the people who are just like, this is great no matter what. But a lot of my gay friends were not happy with it because they were like, that's not really portraying it like our relationships in a correct way. Because like Supergirl's sister had been straight the entire show up to that point. Never, and I'm not saying that like people can't have obviously different, thoughts and opinions day to day even. But like the way that they portrayed it was just weird and awkward and felt forced. And then they put her in a relationship and then they broke her up in that relationship. And like they had her getting married, and like the day before the wedding, they finally talked about whether or not they wanted kids or not, and like everybody on the show knew except for the other person. It was just awkward. And I just feel like with Supergirl, it's got to be something, get back to the basics. Like even with the Superman movie, don't try too hard to push anything. Just make a fun movie that people can go and enjoy and go, hey,
I think James' agenda is always the animals. So I think we're in good hands. We're in good hands. Crypto's going to succeed. Crypto's the star of this movie, not Superman. No, they both are. But thank you, chat. Thank you, Rhea. Enosh and Shayna are back as much as we could drag them from their busy lives, their full house, to spend some time with us for an interview.
Back from the brink of death.
This is a no. This is a record on. Have you met Rhea? We're not usually going to go 3 hours, but for our good pals Enosh and Shayna, we've done it. The questions are coming in. That means that you're wanted.
It just goes that fast. It just goes that fast.
So we will probably do a wrap up here of go follow them so what's going to happen. And if you really want to see Enosh, you can check him out tomorrow. He's going to be live streaming tomorrow with his service. If that's your thing, if it's not, that's fine too. You can still say hi,
Right. I'll tell you what, we're pretty chill. Like this is seriously what you get here is what you get on a Sunday morning. I only started broadcasting the Sunday morning stuff because people reached out to me, honestly. Like there were a couple people who were like, oh, Enosh is trying to push, this or that. Enosh has never tried to push anything. If anybody's ever known anything about Enosh has never, I've answered questions. You've been on streams before, Max, when people would ask me like a serious question or somebody, had something going on in their life. And I've stopped streams before to say, because somebody said, somebody's like mentioned in the chat, I'll never forget, somebody was like, my father passed away. Would you be willing to pray for me? And I stopped the show and I just said a prayer for the guy, and that's just who I am. That's just part of who I am. And so like when I started, when I kind of took a step back, when I took over the church and I was doing less YouTube, that was one of the things. I wasn't really going to put that out there. I was going to put it on my personal stuff. And then people who watch Poindexter Lounge, they know who I am. They know what I do, and they know my heart. And they would ask me, hey, could you maybe put it on the channel? And I said, yeah, sure. And then people started responding to that. And so it's really low key. I think it's a cool way for people to get a little insight into what I do and like maybe how I think, because as I'm speaking, they can see that this is just really who I am. It's not some flashy YouTube thing. Nobody's trying to be anything that they're not. So every time somebody comes online and tries to act like, oh, Enosh is this or Enosh is that, you can just know that know me, right? I mean, there's no YouTubers out here that could tell you what Enosh Fee thinks other than Enosh Fee, and I love that. And so, yeah, if you want to have a good time and enjoy some good music with us, and you know, just a fun time. We have a moment that we now call, "Give me some good news," and I love our church people. We got this little lady named Kathy. She's older, and I discovered when we took over the church that she's an '80s metal fan. I swear to God, it's the funniest thing ever. Every week she's requesting Metallica in the middle of service, like, you know, like, and it's become a joke, right? You know, and everything, but it's funny. But yeah, we have some fun like that, and so yeah.
All right, cool. So thank you, Rhea. Thank you, Enosh and Shayna, and we're gonna wrap up. We're probably gonna save a few minutes behind the scenes to make our plans, and then.
By the way, can I just say how awesome it is to see Rhea doing
Yes.
streams and doing this stuff, because Rhea, you are awesome. And I,
Yes,
and,
she
I,
is.
and I will just say that somebody asked earlier about people behind the scenes. This young lady right here is amazing. She has been amazing behind the scenes for so long, and just supportive. You know, supports channels, has supported me when I haven't asked her to do anything before, and just Ray is a real one. And so,
I'll tell you how fast it took when I'm like, what you want to go visit Enosh? She's like, yeah, like that. She's like, yes, I want to go visit Enosh.
yeah, that's awesome.
So that's how
I
quick
can
it
think
took.
of a few people that we would ask fellow streamers, like, you want to go visit them? No.
Yes.
No, let's not.
Props to Rhea for sure. Okay, you want to end the show? Enosh, if you want to. Thanks for watching and supporting this series. This is one of, this is an established series now. I thought of it. We thought of it together, hanging out too many games with Rhea, and I'm like, you're great at that's one of her strengths, is meeting people, talking to people, and being genuine. And this is something we thought we could get to know people a little bit better. I knew you already, Enosh, but it's great to meet you, Shayna, and know more about you, and meet you in person as well. Is going to be it's going to be really a great experience. So.
I can't wait for the content that we come up with.
Oh, okay. We gotta. Okay, I have to have content.
You all will get. You'll get Sleeping Max content.
Oh no.
We'll set up a camera right in front of his nose, and it'll just be like Max sleeping there, like.
Oh God, I don't know what I put myself in. There may be that, yes.
Get ready for Enosh 24/7.
Oh, I might not be prepared. I don't know.
That's awesome. It's awesome.
All right. Well, have a good one, everyone. We'll see you soon, and you'll see Enosh and Shayna soon, as I believe too. I
always
promise
remember,
you.
Don't let anybody tell you that your fandom doesn't matter. Don't tell anybody that their fandom doesn't matter. But seek to have good conversations and treat everybody with some respect. And if you do that, I know there'll always be a place for you at Max's place, and Rhea's too, but there'll always be a place for you at the Poindexter Lounge. So stay nerdy.
Perfect way to end it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.